Y'all can hear me? My audio good?
Yeah.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Josh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
All right, what about now?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can.
Matty B, you can hear me? Caprice, you can hear me? All right, everybody seems like they on, just making sure everybody. Dre, you good down there?
Yeah, I can
All
hear
right,
you.
let's get this thing started. Peace, peace. Welcome to the show. This right here is Humble Beginnings, where we simply live it through. Oh man, I say this time and time again. When I say we simply live it through, I mean no matter what adversity or diversity we go through, all we could do is walk the path accordingly. Hold on, I got Matty B. Yo, I might say you might have to go out and come back in because everybody else can hear me. Yeah, yeah. Everybody drop off. Yeah. Hey, so y'all, this right here is the 50th show, man. The 50th show.
Woohoo.
Doing pretty good. What? It's been what? 2 years? That's about right.
Yeah.
Started in May. I think the first show was like on the 10th of May. Yeah. Man, it's been 2 years, man. This right here is the 50th show, man. How y'all feel, man? Everybody good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's good to hear. Let me make sure everybody up before we get started. Back up. Boom. All right, keep this at the bottom. I know we got a couple more people say they was gonna slide through, so we'll just see what happens when they get here. But I got a good conversation for us, man. This is a conversation, man. I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory of why I think something like this right here is kind of important. The name of the show, this show right here is effective communicator versus emotional intelligence. Now, one of the things that made me kind of want to do this particular subject was more of a distaste of a lot of what I watch when I watch a lot of panels and stuff like that, the way they had their conversations and a lot of the way people approach when they do their information and stuff like that. Like I hear a lot of people talk about effective communication, but nobody really tries to communicate effectively. You know what I'm saying? More people just want to steer you and make you do what they want you to do. Even when the people use the term emotional intelligence, man, I think I see a lot of misuse in it. So, you know, my first couple questions, we're going to get the breakdown of it, then we're going to dive a lot deeper into it. So, first question, man, I want to pass around to the panel. It's very simple. It's, hold up. Let me pull up my other setup because I ain't got that in order. I wanted to have it. Is, what does it mean to be an effective communicator? What does it mean to be an effective communicator? My bad. I got him lined up. We're gonna pass this to let me see, man. Mike Joe, I'm passing you, man, because I got a feeling you only here for a short time. So I want to make sure you get up in here. Hey, man, when you to be an effective communicator, you hear that? What come to mind?
Basically, I know just basically getting the understanding of whoever I'm talking to, and basically like just adapting to how they talk. Just basically like, not me being specific away. They,
Mike Joe, you on an Android or iPhone?
you couldn't hear.
Now you been going in and out.
Oh shit! It's still going in and out.
Now I can hear you clear now.
Oh, word. I said basically getting an understanding from the other person. Basically, come to understanding whenever we talk. That's about it. I'll get off and jump back in, bro.
Okay. Nah, you good. We can hear you now.
Okay.
The Notorious Dre, man. What comes to your mind, man, when you hear the term effective communicator?
Agreeing to disagree. Like you don't necessarily have to agree with somebody. Basically, you just understand their opinion. Trying to see where they're coming from, and they can do the same with you. You heard me?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you. You good. You good.
Okay.
Caprice. What comes up to you, man, when you hear the term an effective communicator? What comes to mind first?
An effective communicator to me is somebody who say exactly what it is they trying to communicate and making sure that whoever they talking to understand exactly what they're saying.
Okay. Chef Joe, man, what comes to mind when you hear that term? Effective communicator.
Listening to your partner, comprehending what they're trying to explain or tell you, and make sure y'all agree and on the same page.
Okay. Pretty decent consensus. Tori, what you think, man? What come to your mind when you hear an effective communicator? What comes to mind?
Um, I just instantly get articulation, being able to articulate what you want to say.
Mm.
Well, Matty B, what comes to mind, man, when you hear effective communicator?
I pretty much agree with Chef Joe, Caprice, and Tori. They pretty much said what I was gonna say. And being able to read the cues as well, like the nonverbal as well. So, and that'll also kind of guide you to when to interject, when not to interject. Just being able to communicate not perfectly, but being able to communicate effectively, where they can understand what you're saying, you understand what they're saying, and you being able to know when to insert, when not to insert, things of that nature.
And we all on the pretty same page, and I don't really have nothing to add to it. I think it's the exact same thing. I think it's being able to get whatever you're trying to get across effectively. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's I think if it's an outcome you're trying to rear out of it, being able to get that outcome out of it. Sometimes I would say understanding plays a part, but not necessarily, because sometimes you might be trying to communicate something to get a task done, and you don't necessarily need that person to understand. They just need to understand that you need the task done, but they don't actually need to fully understand the dynamics of what you're kind of saying. So I think it's being able to get across literally what you're trying to get across. It depends on the scenario, though. I would say that, because I don't think every conversation is not a we both need to equally understand. Sometimes it's orders given. You know what I'm saying, or instructions, more so to say. Next, I want to ask y'all about what exactly is emotional intelligence. And the reason why I'm asking what these things are first, so we don't end up walking down a rabbit hole of having to argue definitions. So that's why I'm starting off trying to understand what we first identify these things as before we start having the miscommunication side. See, I'm trying to be effective, right, with this communication thing, right? So, what exactly is emotional intelligence? I've heard many different ideas of what this is. So I want to know what comes to mind when you actually hear emotional intelligence. I'm gonna start this way backwards. Matt, what comes to mind, man, when you hear emotional intelligence?
I would say being able to read the room and the people you're dealing with and yourself, being able to know when to use it, when to subdue your emotions for the proper outcome, and knowing when to express your emotions for the proper outcome. Understanding yourself, your emotions, and understand how other people perceive your emotions and your communication when you are speaking or using those emotions. So I would say just the emotional intelligence to get the results and kind of control the room with your emotions and the way you carry yourself.
Okay. Tori, what you think about that? What actually is emotional intelligence?
Oh, I got that. When I looked the definition up, can I go?
Go,
Now
Joshua.
you hear me say Tori.
Let him go, Kevin.
Go ahead, man.
Go, Joshua.
Go ahead.
When I Google it, I actually use Kevin's term. I Google it, motherfucker. It was like having the intelligence to check your emotion and the other person's emotions as well. So you got to be able to handle your emotion as well, the other person's emotion, which I find that hard to do sometimes because some people are very emotional. So how can you check their emotions and your emotion at the same time?
Okay. That was a question you want us to ask, or that was more kind of rhetorical? You didn't want us to try to respond to that, is it?
No, this is rhetorical.
Okay. What exactly is this, man? Emotional intelligence?
I think it's the ability to understand your feelings, to control your feelings, to articulate your feelings, to relay your feelings, to comprehend someone else's feelings. It all goes hand in hand.
Okay. Notorious Dre, man. What exactly is emotional intelligence?
Just being in control of your emotions, and like Matt B said earlier, basically being able to read the room and being able to read people.
Okay. P. Caprice. What exactly is emotional intelligence?
I agree with what Matt and Tori said.
Okay. She ain't adding nothing new. Mike Joe, man. What you think, man? What exactly is emotional intelligence, man?
I think it's really like, I don't know, knowing something, feeling strong about something you know about it, feeling strong about it. And that's really it.
Okay. Yeah, so I definitely I walked the line of just like what Josh read off to what it be. I think it's understanding and control is simply what that is. But I think it's more privy on your emotions than it is more so the other person. Because just like so when Josh even posed the question, a lot of the times you can't really control the other person's emotion, but I think that's when the concept of the effective communicator side kind of kicks in if you're trying to balance the other person's side. But I think as far as emotional intelligence, it's really more so you being able to identify and understand you more. You got to understand other people too, but the control side lives definitely more so in just you, not the other person. Do y'all is an emotional intelligent person an effective communicator? Since it's kind of seemed like these things kind of seem like they go hand in hand. Would y'all say an emotional intelligent person is an effective communicator? Mike Joe, man, what's up, man? Let's talk to me, man. Would you say this?
I think they can be from what you described. I think they can be.
All right, what you think, man? Is an emotional intelligent person actually an effective communicator?
Yeah, because I know what I'm thinking, so I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking and tell you what I'm feeling. So, yes, I think so.
Okay. Joe, what you think about that?
I don't know, because when people be emotional, they really can't speak. They can't really speak their feelings because they so wrapped up in shit. Like they overexcited and all that. So I guess if you let them calm down, maybe
Not emotional intelligence.
That's a person that can't control their emotions. That's not emotional intelligence. We're talking about emotional intelligence. You're talking about people that's unstable.
Correct.
You stuck on the emotional part.
Exactly. Emotional.
But this person
That's
can
the key
handle their
word.
emotions because they're emotional intelligence.
That's the key word. Emotional.
Nah,
Motherfuckers being emotional first before they get the intelligent part. Shit.
So to deal with what Josh is saying, I'm gonna ask the question: Would an emotional intelligent person, would they have to be able to control? Like they couldn't have part of it, or is it all or nothing? Like they might be able to identify, they might be able to point it out and see it, but do they have to be able to control? Or
No.
more so, does the control look like what you want the control to look like? So let's say this, right? So let's say if you were in a competition with somebody, right? And let's say they moving under the guise of that they're emotional intelligent, right? And the way that they express themselves is the way that they express themselves. They can identify it, they understand it, and all that other stuff like that, right? They understand, they got it clear. Do they have to be able to contain themselves for what you feel they have to contain themselves to be? Would y'all say that?
That's where the effective communication come in.
Yeah, but I'm not asking about effective communication. Well, I'm asking, my question specifically right now that I'm asking right now is about the emotional intelligent person. Unless you believe that they're the same thing, because the question we're doing right now is already the same.
I don't believe they're the same thing.
You tell, are they able to effectively communicate if they can't control themselves?
Yo.
Well, now you ask my question in reverse. Hold on. Ask my question first. Wait.
Because Josh answered the question incorrectly.
I didn't answer because that was my opinion.
Yeah, that's why. See, I'm asking the question predicated off of what Josh said, though. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm asking what I'm asking. Like, is it like, is it an all in, or is like you can, if you don't do it all the way, you just don't have it? Because sometimes a person could be addressing or communicating something in a way that is that, but the other person just might not like it. Like, is it predicated on that other person? Because sometimes somebody could be very clear, they might not even be raising their voice or anything like that, and the other person might just not like it, and they might be feeling like you're not being, having the intelligent side to it, but you might actually be doing that. That's what I'm asking. Like, is it an all in or throw it out type of thing?
I don't believe it's an all in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's I was just asking that. Now, Matt, what was your question?
I didn't get what you all in based on what? Them being able to effectively communicate based on how the other person perceives.
Based on what we are trying to define emotional intelligence as, right? Like, because we said understanding and control, right? So I was asking the question, like, well, if that person has the understanding side, but then control side he don't have, because like, does he have to have both? Is it all of it? He has to have all of it. He has to have every bit of it, or could he have half of it and still represent that thing?
You breaking
Okay,
up.
I got what you're saying now. I was kind of
like, does he have to have the understanding and the control? Is what I'm asking.
Well, can you hear me, right?
Check your message, bro.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Matt. I'm talking to Kevin.
All right. Yeah, I was kind of confused about the control parts, even though I know he read it from the definition he saw. Because I didn't perceive.
Y'all can hear me right now?
Dang.
We still got like a delay and an echo.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're probably a little behind.
Yeah, it's a lag. But go ahead, Matt. Go ahead and finish your statement, sir. I take over till you get back home.
There you go. I was gonna say I was a little confused by the definition.
Not you trying to take over the show. Who appointed you? Like, what?
I done it before myself.
Go ahead, I'll take it over. Okay.
But I was gonna say I was a little confused when you said the control, even though you said you was reading directly from the definition, because I didn't know control was a part of that was effective communication. That was the emotional intelligence. That was the emotional intelligence, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know control was part of it. Unless they saying control is because you can't dictate how someone is going to receive something. But I guess they saying the control is you being able to dictate how you proceed in your communication to control the situation of how the conversation is going to go. I would agree with it in that aspect.
Yeah.
But I don't think it has to be both, though. That's the main question he was asking. I don't think you have to have both. According to how people see that control as, I would say that.
Gotcha.
So we just gotta wait till the host get back in now. Zach said his mic went bad, so I guess he's gonna jump back in.
Gotcha.
What's the next question? Anybody been listening to that Kendrick and
Drake beat?
Woo!
Kendrick went in, boy, and I'm not neither one of their fans, but
that shit last night was fire.
616.
I know y'all niggas
It been
ain't
a lot
changing my
since
show
then,
to no goddamn Kendrick and goddamn J. Cole debate. And I told y'all niggas to iron this shit out while I was coming back in.
Josh had took over and you see what happened?
I ain't know if you wanted to go to the next question or not. I start the pose.
Well, everybody didn't answer that one.
Oh yeah, I don't think I even answered yet. You're right.
Yeah. So the question was: is an emotional intelligent person actually an effective communicator? That was the question.
Okay. Yeah. Are you coming to me now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I wouldn't necessarily say they go hand in hand. I know most of the people agree. I don't think so, because an emotional intelligent person can also realize they're not an effective communicator and know what conversation to get in and get out of. You know, emotional intelligence is also you being able to be aware of if this is a conversation you can even be intellectual in. So I think emotional intelligence sometimes means you're not ready for a conversation as well. So I don't necessarily think you have to be an effective communicator in general to be able to be emotional intelligent.
Okay. Who didn't answer this question? I don't even know.
I don't think did Mike Joe
Tori, you answered?
I believe I did.
Yeah, I'm the first one.
Yeah, I didn't go yet.
All right. Dre, what you think about that, man? Is an emotional intelligent person an effective communicator?
I think they can be, because if you're emotionally intelligent, you'll know how to communicate and when to communicate and know how to talk to the said person. So you will know how the other person how emotional the other person is. You will know how to communicate with them. So yeah, I think they can be, but not all the time.
Caprice, did you answer?
No, I did not. What's the question?
All right. So what you think about that? Is a emotional intelligent person a effective communicator?
I think they can be, and I also think they could be emotionally intelligent person could also be a manipulator. Because they know how to use their emotions in a way, they can use that for good, or they can use that for triflingness.
So yeah, I think I agree. I definitely don't believe that they would be the same. And I'm glad Caprice used the term manipulator, because it's gonna bring me to what my next question was gonna be. Because I always say this. When people love saying, people have emotional intelligence, I personally believe that a liar would be a person who could considerably be an emotional intelligent person.
I agree.
But I'm gonna see what y'all. So That my question is: would a liar be considered emotionally intelligent in a degree, not far as
They
the totality?
can
Oh
be.
shit! I ain't even see exactly.
I don't think a liar can always be emotional intelligence, but I think they can be.
Agree, because they got the practice line and talking their way out of stuff and
Not practice lying.
You say practice lying.
Like what you do be in the mirror, like I'm gonna come up with this lie. Let me practice.
you know what I mean by practice. When you tell one lie, you gotta tell another and another to cover that one up and cover that one. You know what I mean by practice.
They could. I said they could be as well. I also said they could be not.
Zach, you can hear me?
I don't know if my mic is working.
Yeah, it's working.
All right.
I all right, Matt. What was you saying?
I was saying they could be, but they also could be not, because being able to avoid, you put yourself in a position to lie can also be emotional intelligence as well, and being lying can also be not emotional intelligence, because it ain't necessarily that your lie is also gonna get away with it either, and it ain't even necessarily that your lie is even something that's beneficial to yourself or other people. What I'm saying? A lot of people lie. We can clearly see they misguided or they're idiots or whatever, and the situation always goes bad for them. So I would say it could be used as emotional intelligence, but it also could just be the opposite.
Okay. Zach, you can hear me clearly, brother?
Yeah, man.
You say yeah.
Yeah, I heard. The question we trying to iron through right now is can well, no, that ain't it. It's at the bottom. Well, no, I wanted to go back because I wanted to get your understanding on it too. So, what come to your mind, Zach, when you hear the term emotional intelligence?
I think of a person that can control their emotions even under stressful circumstances. They know how to deal with certain situations, and that's about it.
What comes to your mind when you hear an effective communicator?
An effective communicator is someone that can literally talk their way through anything. They can pick up on.
Zach?
Yeah, I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you good.
You continue.
So I was saying, effective communicator is somebody that can talk their way through certain situations and get themselves out of certain situations, regardless of whether they know anything about the topic at hand or anything like that. They're able to input their understanding because they can literally talk about anything, street smart, if you will.
Okay. Do you think that an emotional intelligent person, are they an effective communicator?
I would say so, but it could go both ways. Um, I think you can be an emotionally unstable person and still be able to talk and do things because I've been there, but you know, it's different. I will say that you'll be able to tell whether somebody's emotional stable talking or unstable.
Now to the question at hand. Would a liar be considered emotional intelligent, in your opinion?
It depends. And why I say it depends is a liar can manipulate and connive their way into making people believe anything that they're saying, and I, I don't know whether that's emotionally intelligent or not, because it could land them in a situation that they don't need to be in or they don't want to be in.
Okay. Who has an answer about the liar? Or is somebody gonna lie?
Oh no, I didn't go yet.
Go ahead, Dre.
Who said they didn't go?
Mm,
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't. But yeah, I think to answer the question, I think so because a liar for the most part, if a liar is emotionally intelligent, for them they can be like real smooth talking, and they know how to manipulate their way through things, and they know how to manipulate certain people. So yeah, I think a liar can be emotionally intelligent.
But would we say to the panel? Would we say that people, just because the person is lying, are they doing a good job at it? Because it's like we assume that when we call someone a liar, that they're actually being successful in their patterns. Most liars I know, I know they lying. I don't know how everybody else comprehend, but
Hmm. I mean, some people are good at lying. Believe it or not, some people are. Like,
we think
you
that's
ain't
the
gonna
majority of the minority.
the majority.
You think the majority of
I
people good
think the
at lying?
majority. Mm. Mm, I'll take that back, the minority. I think it's a few people
Okay,
that can
there we
pull
go.
that off. Yeah.
Because I would also say, I think an effective
Mm.
communicator, there's a lot of effective communicators that know how to manipulate their conversation where they don't even have to lie, where they can lead you somewhere without even having to lie. You know,
Hmm. Yep, that's true.
Or a part of that is actually telling the lie too.
could be, yeah. I just think not that many people are very good liars. I think that's the minority.
Oh yeah, I mean that ain't. I mean that's not more so what I'm bent on because what the reason why I asked about the liar uh, being able to be considered emotionally intelligent because a lot of times we did use the aspect of being able to control the other person. Even the information that you about to deliver can also make them, either piss them off or make somebody act crazy. If you're looking at it from the aspect of being able to control the whole the environment between you two, telling the lie could then be that offset of why you do it.
Yeah, it could
You
be.
get what I'm
It
saying?
could be. Mm-hmm.
All right. I got a question. I heard somebody make this statement before on the show, and I found it interesting. And it's will life make you emotionally mature? Will life make you emotionally mature? Tori, what you think?
Absolutely. I say yes only because, well, I can only speak for myself. It made me emotionally mature. I had a kid at 14. So it definitely made me mature a whole lot faster. You learn to look at things differently. You see how other people look at things. So you have to grasp life way faster than others. And everybody don't go through the same situation scenarios. So your story can always be different from someone else. So sometimes you're a lot, and it all depends on how you grew up, family, everything, culture, environment, all of that plays a part.
Okay. Caprice, what you think about that? Will life make you emotionally mature?
It can. Not always, but it can.
You ain't gonna elaborate on nothing today, Caprice?
That's it. Leave it at that. I had to look up real quick. I thought she was about to ask something.
I'll take that as a no.
That's a heck no, Matt.
I'm about to say, Dre, man, what you think about the question, man? Will life make you emotionally mature?
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you go through your journey in life, you're gonna go through different things. You're gonna go through different relationships, different jobs and things of that nature. I know me personally, I basically judge things and I judge life on my life experience, on things that I've been through or what I've seen other people go through, But I actually think you got that in your question, so I'm not really getting into that too much. But yeah.
Okay. Zach, man, what you think about that, man? Will life make you emotionally mature?
I think so. Yes, absolutely. Everything I've been through has shaped who I am and who I'm becoming, no doubt.
Okay. Matty B, man, what you think, man? Will life make you emotionally mature?
Are you looking at life as time pass or life as the experience and everything that come with someone living?
Well, it will be all of that will be included in your life, though. Well, in a person's life, though, as time progresses and with the things that they take in life. Yeah.
I would say it can and it cannot. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people regress as well. You see people go through hardships and they end up getting worse. They end up not being able to control their emotions. They end up more angry at the world. They end up being more unstable. There's a reason why people have to get therapy, or some people never get therapy. They don't even have the emotional intelligence to know they need help, and they actually fall into a dark hole and never come out of it. So I would say it could go either way. I would think the one thing we can't overlook as well as the individual person, something being special about that person that makes them want to change, makes them want to receive information, makes them want to learn more about themselves and the things around them. Because everybody that had a baby at 14 ain't necessarily matured either, or necessarily, became more emotional, intelligent, and everything. And some people that had a baby at that age and went left. They got 4, 5, 6 baby daddies by now. They all messed up. They kind of jacked up in the head. So it's something special about that individual person as well that makes them say this is going to be what actually propels me to be a higher level on myself.
Okay. Chef Joe, man, it's on you, man. What you think about that? Will life make you emotionally mature?
I agree with Matt. Like, it depends on the individual. Like, some people can grow spiritually, mentally, but emotionally they're still stuck. Like, it all depends on the circumstances and was they emotionally hurt and never healed. So it depends.
Yeah, so I agree with what Chef Joe, Matty B, and Capri said. I think I think it depends. Like Matt said, everybody don't mature going through life, regardless of what they went through. They can went through traumas, whatever may have, whatever you think is severe. They can went through a lot of those periods where they were teachable moments that most people might would have grasped, or most people might have not. But some people, life don't help mature their ass at all. They're the same person that they was at 15, at 40, and it don't shift at all. So I definitely don't. I think it can. It can. I think it depends on the will of the person. I think a person has to want to mature to actually mature. I don't think just life in itself matures you. I think it is a choice factor like anything else. Me personally, I feel that.
You on mute, Matt? Can't hear you.
I got a quick question. So,
y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was gonna say I believe most people, when they're born and they're coming up, most people want to be a good person, or I would say they want to be a higher level of themselves, especially when they get into their lower adult years. But experiences kind of make someone go left or make someone go right, And I think what's gonna play out is your ability to what's gonna weigh more heavy is that person's ability to be better about life or want to actually change and be a higher level of themselves. Most people fall victim to the hurt and trauma they suffer, and it overrides them wanting to be a better person, or them wanting to be like a better version of themselves, I should say. So whichever one outweighs is kind of going to dictate where their emotional intelligence. I believe most people that become emotional intelligent, that ability to want to be better outweighs the trauma and things they dealt with in life.
I gotta so if one had to come first, right? Would you put experience before information, or would you put information before experience? This is for everybody. So that's the question. If one had to come first, and I'm asking, would you personally put experience before the information or the information before the experience? If they had to, numerically or chronologically go in a certain order. Zach, man, what you think?
I put experience over information, no doubt, because I know some people right now. They have degrees in all kind of different fields, and you know, um, they may not be doing anything with that certificate or anything, and yet some people do. We could apply that to life, people that study theology and uh, psychology and um, philosophy. All those people that haven't been through what I've been through, so they can really tell me anything as far as my life goes because they're smart, have a degree or anything like that because my experience has taught me everything I know.
Okay. Tori, what you think? If you had to put one first.
Experience.
Leave it at that.
Oh, no.
Making a statement, just breathing like, no.
I say experience, and pretty much the same things Zach just said. You can have all of the education in the world, but until you're literally hands on with a lot of things and you go through it, then you really don't know how to navigate certain situations. But if you're able to actually go through it and the trials, the tribulations, the outcomes, then you'll be okay. Then I figure then you'll know.
Okay. So, Dre, what you think about this? If you had to put one first, which one comes first?
Like I said earlier, I take the experience. I base things. I view life on my life experience. And what I've been through, what I've seen other people go through. Like for example, you can't tell me what's going on at my job because you got a little info, from other people. Because I actually work there. Experiencing things going there. Like you can't tell me what's going on. So yeah, I'll take the experience.
Okay. Chef Joe, man, which one come first, man?
Definitely experience, man. Life experience will teach you lessons that information can't. I mean, think about who put the information in the book. Did somebody experience what you experienced, or they experience something different? Their life experience might be different from yours. Like I take experience over information every day.
Okay. Caprice, what you think about that? Which one come first?
Who's breathing like that? I'm like, I understand. What's the question?
There's a reason why I'm asking this. After everybody go, I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm asking this question. There's a reason for this question. Why I'm asking. Because I know it may seem like a very basic, but there's a reason for why I'm asking this.
Sorry. What's the question again?
If you had to put one first, would you put experience before information or information before experience?
It depends on the situation. Because how I am is I have to know the information first and then combine that with my experience. Like I just don't like going into something without knowing about it. I gotta know about it, and then I'm gonna experience it myself. I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. I said a sort of grain, but a grain of salt. But at least I know what I'm going into. I don't like doing nothing blindly. So yeah.
Okay. Matty B, what you think, man? If you had to put one first.
I was kind of going back and forth. That's why I had to breathe like that for a second. But it's kind of tough, man. But for me personally, I would say definitely the experience. I kind of agree with everybody, because even without the experience, a lot of the information is going to be based on your experience. But you can't get experience with just information, but you can get information with experience. You know what I'm saying? But I would definitely say experience would come first. Most of the situations I've been in, the experience has taught me a lot more than the information, because the information only is going to be able to tell you surface level things. There's a lot of deeper meanings that you learn that comes from having the experience in those situations. But I would say it's subjective to every person. I don't think that's needed for every person, because there's a lot of people. We got these shows called Snapped and all that for a reason, because a lot of people got in certain situations and they didn't learn from it. It ended up being somebody dying, or ended up somebody get life in prison, or ended up losing a child, or ended up being trauma that they never recovered from, family curses. So everybody don't do well with experience. Some people get the experience and it ends them, or it's just bad from them. So I would say it definitely depends on the person. But for me personally, I would say experience.
Okay. So we all in agreement when we say this. So the reason why I asked this question is because most of the time when I'm hearing people talk, most people are having ideal conversations, and most of these ideal conversations aren't coming from realms of experience. They might be overviewing someone else's, but they don't. Most people aren't typically having their experience in a lot of the stuff. Like when you listen to a lot of these shows and a lot of these other podcasts and stuff like that, there's a lot of ideal things talking, ideal things that could be supported by people's experience. But a lot of times it actually is just information, because if the person doesn't actually have it, the idea would be more of an informative stance predicated upon how they choose to put their numbers or the rhythmic behind whatever they choose to believe they're going to get an outcome, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked that particular question, because I hear more ideal talk than I hear experience talk when I listen to people. So I'm like, I asked that question to like, well, damn, because it seems like most people say they value the experience first, but when I get to hear people talking, everything is just idealistic. So that's what made me say I wanted to ask that question, because it's confusing when I hear people talk. You know what I'm saying? I got a question for everybody, like personally, right? So we talking about kind of like the positive side of things, right? And what it is. This is what I want to know from everybody. I want each person to tell me what's the biggest communication issue that you have with people. Now, I mean, like on the receiving side, like what do somebody around you do that pisses you off? What would be your pet peeve of communication with people that you dislike? Like what you don't like about the way people communicate?
I,
Go ahead, Drake.
I just want to, because I actually was going through this. People who think they know everything. I don't know how much of y'all watch boxing, but Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney has fought April 20th, and just recently Ryan Garcia had got popped dirty for PEDs and things like that. And I had a couple people trying to tell me it's fake, Ryan Garcia then got caught dirty, but he had 2 failed drug tests, and the person is basically saying it's a lie and things like that. So basically somebody who think they know it all when the information is there.
Okay. Drake said he don't like to know it all. Okay. Capri, what's yours? What's your biggest pet peeve of communication?
I don't know what I'm thinking in my head would kind of be a contradiction because I do it. So, I don't like a nonchalant. I don't like a nonchalant communicator.
So you don't like
No
people
one
like you.
who-
I mean, you
First
did
of
say
all,
to
I'm situational nonchalant. I'm not nonchalant all the time. When it comes, if I'm asking questions, I don't need you to be nonchalant. If you asking me questions, I'm not gonna be nonchalant about it. But I don't like somebody that's just like not expressive or I don't know. Somebody that's just not expressive, that's just too laid back for my liking to where it takes a long time to even know what it is they feeling, what it is they trying, what it is they wanted to say to me or whatever. It's like it always takes time when I know something is happening at the moment and I ask about it and the person act like it's nothing happening, and then later down the line it's like, oh well, this was happening, and it's like I don't know, I don't like the delay.
So you saying you need more of the nonverbal than the verbal? Then is what you're saying?
What?
Because you said you need the expression. Because a lot of your expression you typically get from more body language than anything.
Not expression, expressing. Like verbally expressing. Verbally expressing.
No, I know, but I said expression. You said expressing. We still saying the same word. That's why I asked you. I said,
I'm talking about verbal.
Okay, that's what I was asking. All right, Chef Joe, what's your biggest pet peeve of this thing?
Shit, when they don't communicate, when they can't when they scared to communicate or can't. Shit, talk
So
to
you
me and
don't
tell
like,
me
so
your
you don't
feelings.
like people. So you saying you don't like people who shut down?
There you go.
Because you get a lot of people like that. Where I think you see it more in females, but
Mm-hmm.
you get people they can't handle certain conversations, so they just shut down. That's what you don't like.
Correct, sir. Correct, my brother.
Why that have to be?
That's a little biased.
Why that have to be a female thing? I think that's a male thing as well.
I said more. I said more. More females do that.
I mean, but why for the distinction though? I don't understand.
Woo.
We're talking community. We talking community, and I don't understand why we got to decipher whether it's more women or more men. Like,
why are you triggered by the fact that I said more? Let's communicate. Let's communicate to each other effectively.
No,
because I'm feeling the emotion.
What I find about these shows is that we can't never stay on.
Let's talk about right here. It
always has to veer off into like, oh well, men do that more, or well, women do that more. Why we just can't say in general?
So because I made the statement, address me though. So therefore, if I respond to it, I don't have to try to cover everybody asking, right? Well, everybody who've ever done it, right?
Yeah, I am addressing you.
So ask me why I'm doing it, why I say that, because I'm saying it because in most situations when I'm looking at people and I'm dealing with people and I'm talking to people, I have seen experience-wise more women have the shutdown about them than the men. Because there's a difference between somebody who just avoids something and then somebody who's shutting down. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the shut down part.
So avoiding something and going into isolation is not shutting down as well?
No, because a lot of avoidance, a lot of men are just lie. Like they'll lie and they're doing stuff. I'm talking about the shut down. That's what I asked Josh. I was like, you talking about like the shut down? Because he even used the terms. He said people who are afraid and stuff like that. So a lot of women, when women can't handle certain conversations, they would just shut down. Like they be like, oh, this conversation is getting too extreme for me. It's too much going on. Like they'll just shut down. Or this is too much. That's what I was asking him. The shut down part.
Well, do you think a man that lies, is he not
he's not shutting down.
He's just lying. Shit.
That's why I said there's a difference. Men are tell more lies and avoid directly versus shutting down. There's a difference though.
Okay.
All right. Are we done? I can move on, or do we need to talk?
I said okay.
See, these verbal cues I'm getting with all this eye rolling and stuff, like I'm picking up on these non-verbals. So
That's so
Maddie
very
B.
emotional intelligence of you.
Don't call me. Don't call my response emotional.
That's so emotionally intelligent of you to pick up on that.
I know, right? I'm good at this, right? Maddie B, man. What's your pet peeve, man, of when people get to conversate, man? What's something you just don't like? And I hope it's something about women too, just so it make Caprice get riled up.
I ain't proud of
I would say
I
a
said
lot
so
of
it
great.
would.
I would say a lot of great area. Somebody that don't want to be direct on certain topics, where they mislead by not actually lying, but leading the conversation one way, but it has double meanings. You know, where literally every conversation you have to push for a direct answer rather than something that could be manipulated to. Well, I meant it this way, but you took it this way, but I meant it that way. You know, because a lot of people use these terms and phrases that have double meanings, and they know what you mean because you lead the conversation one way, but they playing with that gray area a little bit. I don't like people that's not direct.
Okay, so you need more somebody who's just gonna be direct. Okay.
Yeah, I would rather a person lie than to be in the gray area. Because because the lie is easy to find out because you got something to hold them by. Like I'd rather them use something I can actually say you lied about this or you told the truth about this. They determine the gray areas. A lot of people they don't want to get caught in their lies, so they use the gray area where they didn't technically lie.
Let's expound on that though.
I think, yeah.
That's what I'm about to say. Let's expound on that though, because that's kind of interesting though. So I want to go with just that line. Now I know he said he would rather this. So I'm curious now what everybody else thinks. Would you guys rather a person lie than play in the gray area?
Yeah, but so I could when I know that you lying, so I can bring that to you. Like, yeah, you lied about this, and I can confront you with it. And now you have a choice to either lie again and do this over, or you just run the risk of me just cutting you off altogether.
Chef Joe, would you rather somebody lie or then play in the gray area?
I'd rather you be direct, but the two option, yeah, lie to me so I can confront you, so you can tell me the fucking truth. Shit.
Dre, would you rather somebody be in the gray area, or would you rather they just lie?
I agree with Chef Joe. I'd rather for you to lie, because if you lie, I pick up on it. You know, now find out information for myself.
Zach, man, would you rather somebody lie, just outrightly lie, or would you rather they play to the gray area?
Kind of in between. And why I say that is, if somebody lies to me, I may not know they're lying until somebody tells me the truth. And I don't want to be there either. So that's a rough question.
Sorry, you answer, right? You answer?
No.
Sorry, would you rather somebody lie?
I'm gonna say just go ahead and lie. So I'm pretty sure you'll find out it's a lie. Because you'll normally do, whether it be now or later. But that whole gray area, I feel like it's almost like you're kind of like leading me on. Let's not do that. Just go ahead and tell the lie. Let me believe you're telling the truth, and then we'll handle the lie at the end.
Yeah, because when someone's direct, you have something black and white to go by. You know what I'm saying? So you can judge the actions a little better. When people play in the gray area, you're now, especially when you don't have the experience, you now start to question yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like when they say you insecure because you assume this and now that those things come into play because it's nothing you can hold them by. It's just how you feel about it. And it's something that can be subjective. But when someone gives you a black and white answer, now we have a standard now.
You're right.
But when someone gives you
So I'm on an island with this one, or I think Zach might be on the boat. The rest of y'all definitely on mainland. I would rather the gray area than the outright lie. And as I'm hearing y'all answer too, I'm like, because a lot of y'all kind of responded like as if y'all just gonna automatically know the person lying. That's why I kind of agree when Zach said it. Like, first of all, y'all act like y'all just know they lying. How y'all know they lying? Like, I know we saying it direct, like if they're lying, but in the middle of the conversation, you really don't know if they're lying or not. So you actually still taking whatever response they're giving you as their response until or if you are able to unearth something. Because you might not even be able to unearth. So it sounds like y'all giving yourself more credit than
which will mostly happen though. All lies gonna come to light, but that gray area could go on for a long time.
Because both
if you don't
situations,
cut it off.
Nothing is a problem if you don't catch it. Nothing should be a problem if you don't have nothing to go by. So, I mean, of course, if we don't know it's a lie, that would be for both situations, whether it's the gray area or a direct truth. If there's no issue, there would be nothing to address.
But I think this depends on who it's coming from as well. Because if you know,
it's just like the conversation we had. Like, say example, I'm
my bad.
That's the easiest thing I could go by. Like when you're dating someone, they say they only go out a little bit. You know, a little bit is subjective. You know how many you had that conversation. So literally, they can go out 3 times a week and you don't have nothing to hold about. They can pay to you. Like, I told you this. You assume this. You assume that. It's a lot of things. They say I like to travel, and you building a relationship based on not having a concrete answer of what these people mean when they say certain stuff. Now, all these can change. We know that anything can change with experience. We get all older, we all change. The only thing consistent is change. But when especially when you're building with somebody or you're partnering with somebody, you kind of need something direct to help to hold them by to even know if we're moving, if we're progressing along. You can't really judge a person based on a gray area because it's all interpretation now.
Or you could just not interpret anything. Because you're also making it seem like you have to move with something. So in a conversation, I can ask questions and be like that. Because I get the directness if you're asking somebody like, where are we headed? Like where are we going with this relationship? I get it in the aspect of that. But you know me, I'm a total thinker. So when I'm posing the question, I'm not even thinking about just that directness of a question like that. I'm thinking more of the realm of like, it could be with anything. Because there's a lot of things that people do roundabout talks just only because they don't want to get into it, right? And it's not that serious of me and you type of a situation. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when people just say outrightly lie, it becomes confusing because it's like even when they talk like it's basic simplistic stuff, it's like to just outrightly just be lying now would be crazy. Like I would rather you just be talking around something. Because me, if you talking around it, the only assumption I would naturally go with is just to know anyway, right? Like I would never, like I'm not the hope for the best. I'm more of the pessimistic person. I know, but I'm saying you don't have to do it. I'm talking about me now. I said if I had to listen, I would rather you just talk roundabout because then I could just stay on the side of no. I wouldn't put a personal investment in.
But you remember,
because like how Matt's talking about.
Go ahead, my fault. I ain't know you. Go ahead. But you remember I prefaced the conversation. You remember I prefaced the conversation with saying, especially if you don't have the experience. Like now, where we at, you may have been there, but now where I'm at with the experience, it's a little different because I don't need you to lie or play in the gray area. Your actions are going to tell you, and I have the emotional maturity and the experience to be able to read the nonverbal because the nonverbal is more communication than even what the person says. It's how they move. But I did practice my same experience. When you're younger, you want to believe in a person. You don't want to, especially when you're first, like when I first started dating, I want to believe in this woman. She hasn't shown me nothing. That's a lie. I want to believe that what she's saying is true. So I'm moving with an optimistic mindset. And when you're moving an optimistic mindset, the gray area is definitely dangerous because you're always going to follow it because you don't have nothing to catch them in. Now, it's different if a person is moving with the pessimistic mindset because you're going to lean towards, well, they ain't shown me that, so I can just avoid that. But if you're a person that moves optimistic, then the gray area is definitely dangerous for you.
So I understand that. Yeah, I heard the way you prefaced in the beginning, but I also know I know we speaking for ourselves too. So that's why I didn't even try to breach on that part because I was like, I get it. That's why I added my personal experience side to it that I would rather this. Like, right. Yeah. So I'm not telling people to go about it because like how you saying, right? Your experiences and all this other stuff right there is going to be how you actually walk through the scenario, right? So some people cannot, they need something to depend on. So at least if you give them something solid as a lie, now they got something that they can try to build off of. I'm saying, see, I don't need anything to depend on. So you don't have to give me no lie. You ain't got to lie at all because I'm not looking for something to depend on. So that's why I'm saying that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
everybody gave their pet peeve. I think I went around to everybody. Who didn't do it?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, Zach, let's go.
When somebody misunderstands me, I hate it.
Mm.
Asking me to repeat myself is one of the worst things somebody can do. And why that is honestly, I probably forgot what I just said. Just just being honest.
You're not being an
So
effective communicator.
I was just about to ask that. I was about to
I
ask that.
speak in my mind and in my personal experience, I speak very well, or at least try to. I had an incident where I couldn't talk at all,
Mm.
but I've gotten a whole lot better since then. And because of that experience where I couldn't talk at all, and now being where I am today, it makes me believe that I'm way better than I was uh, 5 years ago when I couldn't talk at all. I had to write on a chalkboard just to communicate. So when I'm speaking now, I expect people, or maybe that's my fault, but I expect people to understand what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yeah, I get it. So I'll answer. One of the biggest thing, just like I said in the beginning about like what are the things that kind of motivated me with having this conversation. What I don't like is that the time that we're in now, and it's kind of something similar to what Matt said, where now everything is connotation based versus actual meaning. So now we take things that actually are not subjective, and we force them to be subjective now. That's something that I do not like. And I don't like the way that people communicate like that. Like everything is what I look at this as, or I define this as this, or I view this as that. You know what I'm saying? Because when we get into that realm, we now kind of take away the actual word where these words are being, the meaningfulness of the words, right? And I think that makes it actually harder to effectively communicate because we also have these conversations as if we all come from the same associative backgrounds, right? So you might be using a term or using something that's associative, but it might be something that's more associative within your region. So you might be talking to me, and I might not even share or your experience, and I might not even share that. So you're using a connotation, and I'm lost. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? And you be like, yeah, people doing. I'm like, bro, I'm not around these niggas you were around. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you would have to. Like, it's like you would then have to explain to me, but then a lot of people get upset because they use associative terms so much that they don't even understand the denotations. Like they don't even actually know the definitions. So then their whole method of trying to communicate is just associative based, which is difficult if you're not tied in. Like if you're not actually into the lingo. You get what I'm saying? I think that to me is like that shit is very irking when I hear people talk. Cause I'm like, bro, the stuff you're saying is not even what the word means. It's just like you just have to move associatively. So even when people say things like follow a conversation, following a conversation is always going to be different because our intellectual levels are different. And if you're going to speak more cognitively versus not using denotations, how can I? You can't tell me I'm not being. There's an intelligence. Like, no, nigga, you using a dialect, nigga, that I literally don't use. It's made up upon your people, like your circle. So it's like to be effective would be to stay as literal as possible. Now, if a person don't understand literacy, that's just a whole nother issue. Then that's just that means we know what the issue is that person. So I can't make you be smarter than what you are or make you understand what the words actually mean. But when we do it off connotation, it's like we don't help nobody. It's like, nigga, I don't understand what you're talking about, and I'm at the mercy of you trying to tell me what this actually looks like versus anything concrete to actually build on. Because to me, that's a lot.
But if you're an effective communicator, you would be able to catch that, like how you do a lot of times. You're able to catch when a person is using it wrong and able to break it down. So you would be an effective communicator if following the conversation, but also being able to know when a person is, using a term wrong by denotation more so than what it actually is.
No, I know that. I know that, and I agree. But I'm talking about what I see amongst other people. Like, because, even when we watch, like, these other shows, and you're watching people go on these full, long length of debates, and realistically, neither side is right. because they're not even using the definition. They're actually arguing what they want to see it as, their perspective of a word or their association, the connotation of it. You get what I'm saying? So even when hearing other people conversate, it's like, yo, this shit is stupid. Like, cause I hear a lot of conversations, I just be like, yo, this shit dumb. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like both of y'all are incorrectly arguing this, but they're arguing more so what they feel and what they want to associate it with versus what it actually is. And that's what makes the conversations be so lengthy or the arguments go so extensive, because we're not literally dealing with what's here. We're doing with more so there. Or because like for example, words that typically move with a negative connotation. If you're a person who are more moral based, you automatically start going against words that'd be like, dude, that don't mean or put you in that realm. It does that to you because you're so moral based that in your mind this is just bad. So you approach it like that, even though the word don't have a bad or a good thing. Like, for example, the word manipulation, right? I'm using it because Caprice used it earlier, right? Most people are so set on the word manipulation being bad that they don't identify that manipulation can be it's what it is in itself. It's a skillful or tactful way of trying to yield a result or an understanding or something, out of a person, right? But some people view it as so bad that they even try to have a conversation about a positive aspect of it will be a complete argument, because they'll be like, no, that's not, there's no way that could be that. And it's like, what do you mean? Because the word means to skillfully do this. And even though it's positive, like we can use it, like, for example, somebody you trying to convince maybe your child want to go into like the military, right? And you would prefer them to go to college. And you really don't want them to go in the military for whatever fears you may have about the military. So you skillfully try to set up little guys and things like that to try to gear them towards going to college versus that. Some people would say, well, that's good. You did good because you're viewing that and you have a fear of this. And then some people be like, nah, that's wrong, though, because you're now eliminating them to choose naturally. You're actually trying to deter them. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
But that comes from a lot of times of people not, they move in such a cognitive way about it that they don't actually let the word be the word. That's more so. Oh, I got let's talk about these cubes, right? I think Matt might have said this earlier. I think Caprice might have said this too. Does an emotionally intelligent person read both verbal and nonverbal? And it kind of goes back to the question I said about being all in, right? Could they do half and still be this, or do they have to be able to read both? What y'all think? Sorry, I'll start with you. What you think? Does an emotionally intelligent person have to read both verbal and nonverbal?
I say yes. And for me, nonverbal is body language. And that instantly tells you everything you need to know.
Okay, Dre, what you think, man? Do we have to read both?
What's that? Repeat question one time. I just got back.
Does an emotionally intelligent person have to be able to read both the verbal and nonverbal, or could they just only have it halfway right?
I think they should read both. I think they should read both. I don't got nothing else on it.
They're pretty much like all in. Chef Joe, do they have to be able to read both? To even be able to earn the title.
Say what?
No, I was like, to even be able to earn the title, do they have to be able to read both?
Most people say yeah, but I don't think so. If you can read one sign or another one, you'll be okay. But preferably both.
Okay. Matt B, what you think, man? Do they have to be able to read both?
Yeah, I'm gonna give my short answer for the first time in the day, and I'm gonna just say yeah, definitely. To be emotionally intelligent, you have to read both.
Okay. Caprice, what you think? Do they have to be able to read both?
That's what makes the person emotionally intelligent, is picking up on both.
Zach, do they have to be able to read both?
I think so.
So it's pretty much they got to be all in on that, on the identity of it, right? The identification side of it. Now, what about when it comes to delivery? Now, this go kind of sound like I'm circling because I kind of asked similar earlier. So they able to identify it, but do they make the approach that? Do they have to be all in with that too? The identification and the approach? Chef Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. Matty B, do we have to have the approach too?
The approach as far as what, verbal and nonverbal?
Yeah. Like to actually be able to yield whatever within the situation. Like let's say they can identify it, but say they might not actually know how to communicate. We'll say that. Because they could be emotionally intelligent but not be able to communicate. Or
So
do
do
you
they
think
have
they
to
would
have?
have to possess the applicational side of it too? Because a lot of people would say intelligence is built within the application too. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree, but I had got
I think
sidetracked for a second. So come back around to me.
okay. So Zach, would you say they have the applicational side too? Would they have to be? Does that dictate their approach of reading both the verbal and non?
So I'm having a difficult time because you said an effective communicator. Um, I don't count myself as an effective communicator, but I do think I'm intelligent and can read cues, nonverbal and verbal. So I'm
So you don't think they have to have both?
I don't think so. Not to be emotionally intelligent.
Okay. Dre, do you think they have to have both?
Uh,
I mean, well, it's
no,
more
I
so within the
think
approach. Do they have to have the approach as well as I? So when I'm saying both, I'm saying the identity, that being able to identify and within their approach. That's why I keep saying both, not
Okay, that's what
just
I'm
verbal.
trying to
Not
figure out. Gotcha.
uh
just be clear.
no.
Yeah.
I
So
think
yeah,
no.
that's
I
why
think
because that's what this question I skipped before we got to find it.
no. I think if you can already pick up on something, I mean, you don't. It's really no need to to approach it if you don't know how to. That is me.
Okay. Tori, do you think they will have to have both as far as within the approach too, the identification and the approach?
Repeat the question, Kevin, for me in its entirety.
So the first question I asked was about the verbal and nonverbal. So
Mm-hmm.
I, I'm acknowledging the fact that the person has to be able to identify, right? So being able to see
Mm-hmm.
the verbal and the non, being able to identify. So now I'm asking, does that play a big role in now their approach to it as far as the emotional intelligence or the effective communicator side? Does that play a part? Now, do they have to be able to have the right proper, I would say, approach to, or could they just be able to identify? Because
No,
intelligence
because
is
that's gonna
identification, but then some people, some people would say that they have the application matters just as much.
yeah, because I feel like that's gonna dictate your response. And that almost puts the conversation into a control level as to how that conversation is going to go.
Okay, who do you think? Who do you think would be probably more controlling? Since we kind of moving of an understanding, right? Of they not necessarily having to be the same thing as far as the effective communicator and the emotional intelligent person. If who do you if they had one more than the other, one was definitely a more higher, right? Let's say that person could possess both, but they were more lenient. Or let's say even if they only had one side, right? What you think would give off more of a control aspect within that person? Intelligent person or the person who's an effective communicator? Who would seem to be more controlling or could be more controlling, I would say. Tori?
The emotional intelligent one.
Okay. Caprice?
What's the question?
Who do you think will probably walk the lines more of being probably more controlling in a situation? The emotional intelligent person or the effective communicator?
I don't know. I think it could be either or.
Huh?
What?
You say it again?
What? I think you lagging or something. I don't know what's going on.
He definitely
I was
lagging.
asking for your response again. I didn't catch it.
I said I think it could be either or.
I don't know if it's my end. I don't know if it's my end.
Yeah, you lagging.
It's definitely your end.
So that's it, though? You just leaving it at that? I heard the either or part.
Yeah.
He lagging.
Definitely.
You might have to go out and
Go
come
ahead
back
and
in.
answer the question.
All right.
All right. I think that most of the emotional intelligent would be more controlling. Just for the simple facts, like he can read both signs. I mean, both verbal and non-verbal, and like Caprice say, probably can manipulate you and all that to doing what he wants you to do, or make you feel bad into doing what you want to do.
Everybody else who haven't answered, go ahead and answer.
I kind of agree with Chef Joe. He's trying to take the same answer I was going to say anyway. Because I think a person that's an effective communicator don't necessarily mean they can have control over you, because they can know how to effectively communicate without being able to understand a lot about you. But I believe emotional intelligence is being able to understand both sides, and there's a manipulative aspect of that.
Mm-hmm.
On you, Zach.
I agree with Chef Joe and you, Matt. No
Nothing.
need to elaborate. No
Okay.
need. Y'all did good.
All right.
Yes.
Dre?
So that was the last question on his list. I was going to go to the next question. So,
No, Dre ain't answer yet.
Okay.
Oh, I agree with all y'all. I think an emotional intelligent person has the ability to be an effective communicator, so he can play both sides. So yeah.
Nice.
This was the last question?
Yeah, on the list that he sent me. I was going to go to the next one, but this was the last one.
Oh, here you go.
What is Jeopardy?
Yeah.
I know all my shit. It's the one I'm on right here. Yeah, screaming. That shit acting up. All right, so y'all can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we all pretty much share the same senses of it. I'm in agreement. I definitely think the person who with the emotional intelligence actually can play the realm of actually being more manipulative or more controlling, I would say, of a scenario than anything, because they know when to dive in and out when it comes to people. I think they definitely play a bigger role of being able to do that.
Correcto.
All right, guys. Y'all got it? Anybody got anything else they want to add to this subject matter? Or anything else they want to get off their heart? They want to effectively communicate?
I think the men should definitely work on their communication and emotional intelligence.
Oh, whoa. Whoa. The man.
How so?
Y'all more
Chris be
emotional than us.
he like doing the whole gender thing and all that. Yeah.
No. First of all, y'all are emotional
How so?
creatures. Huh?
Not emotional creatures. Okay, baby boy. Like, what you mean? Like, why are you calling us creatures? Like, that's crazy.
Okay, not creatures. Y'all are emotional beings.
Men are emotional too. It just shows up in different ways.
In what ways you thinking?
Isolation is one. Overly aggressive is one.
So y'all
Jealousy is one.
Ooh.
Jealousy. You just don't think of all the emotions. You just think of just being angry, yelling, or whatever, stuff like that. I'm not even a yeller, honestly. I'm more of a silent person.
Capri's lying. He be yelling at me all the time.
You're a liar. Anybody yelling is Kevin. I'll be like, can we have a regular conversation? Because
I'm yelling. I'm yelling.
I cannot hear what you're saying. Like, it's gonna go.
No, you hear me. You just don't understand it.
No, I don't hear what you're saying. I'm going to
When you hear it, you're not understanding.
Until you lower your voice, I'm not.
That's when you can understand it, but you can hear me though. Because if you couldn't hear me, then you couldn't tell me I was yelling.
No, it's this thing that I have with somebody octave level go up.
That's why I said understand.
I tone out. My ears turn off, so I can't hear you. Actually,
you hear me.
No.
So what would be what? So that those are your things, your list of things that you feel men should work on to be better.
I ain't say all that. Like, I was just being facetious.
Josh, what you think?
I don't know what men should work on. I'm not worried about what men should work on.
Josh, what you think, man? What you think women should work on?
Josh,
to be more effective communicators, Josh. To be more specific, what you think women should work on? And then I'm gonna pass that to all the fellas. As a matter of fact, and I'm gonna double back and let women. So one thing I know about women too, right? A lot of times somebody might try to take the high road, and then once they hear y'all say something, they're gonna be offended. So then they go respond back. Now, even if they might not want to say something in the beginning,
why you trying to say they?
They gonna do
like
it.
You're not trying to
because I'm not a woman. Because I'm not a woman, so I have to say they. I'm not a woman. I have to say they. So Josh, what you think they need to work on?
Saying what they mean, and stop beating around the bush, or just explain it. Like, we're not mind readers. If y'all want us to know something, goddamn it, say it. Stop trying to give us context clues and shit. Say what the fuck you mean to say.
You're not very emotionally intelligent, because if you can't pick up on her body language to know that she's meaning something else, then you're not emotionally intelligent at all.
See what she did, Josh? See what she did?
Yes.
See what she did? She ain't even had to do that.
Sometimes we see them, but sometimes we don't recognize them. But still, if y'all want something to say it, why y'all gotta play this cat and mouse game Just say what's on your mind. I am not no mind reader. Tell me what the fuck you want to tell me.
All right, Dre, what you think, man? What you think women could, they could work on?
Handling their emotions a little bit better.
Like what, Dre? For an example. I'm pretty sure they're gonna. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're thinking that. They want to know, like, what in specific do you have in mind?
That nigga trying to talk for shit.
Yeah, that's what no
Part of
comment.
being an effective communicator, Josh, is asking questions. Okay, so we have to ask the right questions if we want to solve for.
You're not being an effective communicator. You talking about no comment? That's actually not good at all. Because now you're in the gray area.
Who said no comment?
Mm.
Who said no comment? Dre.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Dre, why'd you bow out? Dre, don't bow out. Zach, man, what you think women should work on, man? A little bit more, man.
I might get in trouble.
That's all right.
My wife is right here.
I take that bullet for you. So
That's
she
the
get mad at
emotionally
me.
intelligent man right there. That's the emotionally intelligent man right there. He can read the room very well.
Maybe I'm with Dre on this. Maybe communicate their emotions better rather than just being in the gray area, if you will. Come out and tell me what's bothering you so I don't even have to pick up on these cues that I see you giving me.
Oh, I said that, but thank you.
So basically, it sounds like what y'all saying is y'all are saying women aren't being direct enough. That's what I'm hearing.
No,
I
that's not what I'm
think
saying.
that's a blatant lie. I think men only hear it when it gets to the level of the emotional screaming, yelling, and angry. Because we could say something and then you ignore it. Then we give you the cues and then you ignore it. And then it goes to the level of now I'm angry because I've been telling you this for a long time. And now you only hear it because now you see me being angry. You hear me yelling. Because women don't have a problem communicating the problem. You guys just don't hear it unless it comes in the form of yelling and being angry.
Negative. No, I don't want to hear that.
Okay.
Well, I can see where that's true because my wife, she asked me to take out the trash 40 times. I don't hear it. The first time she yells at me, I'm up taking that trash out. So I can see the truth in that.
I guess I'm different because I'm single and I ain't married, so I only can speak for a
That
single.
explains it, Joshua.
No, nothing about relationships. So
I mean, but technically, you talking to a lot of. Well, I don't know if Dre married.
No, I
Caprice,
ain't married.
you're not married, but
No, I ain't married.
My bad.
I don't know.
I was switching laptops at the exact same time. My bad. So now I can come back to the women because I know now they might want to feel like because I don't think women believe. I think women believe that they are a lot more direct. So Tori, now I'm gonna ask you the question: what are some things you think men should be able to work on better to be effective communicators?
Being an effective communicator.
Like what? I mean, in order to do what? I mean, what are the issues? I mean,
Actually respond. I mean, say something. I mean, Kevin, I feel like too often men feel like I don't know what to say, so I don't say anything at all. And they think that's like the best response when it's not.
So the whole avoidance thing.
Yeah.
No, if we say something, you might not want to hear that might not be the answer you want to hear.
As an effective communicator, I'm going to listen to what you're saying.
But you're not going to agree with it. You're not going to let that.
I don't have to agree. I don't have to agree.
Yeah, that's the fucking problem.
What you mean? You never heard of agree to disagree? Like you don't have to agree on anything. It's about the form. It's about you communicating what it is so y'all can work on it together. Not saying nothing because you think I'm not gonna agree with it. That's a bad communicator.
Correct.
We still communicate. If I say I agree with you, agree to disagree. But if it still will be if it ain't Yahweh, it's not gonna matter.
That's not
That always
true.
got to be Yahweh.
No,
That's not true. Then you're dealing with bad communicators.
Exactly.
So you telling me if it ain't Yahweh, it's the highway. So if you ask your man to do something and he don't do it right then or don't proceed to do it, y'all go nag until he do it, right?
No, I'm gonna just start doing it myself because I know for a fact if I start, then my husband gonna be like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna do it.
That's it.
Ain't that manipulation?
No, that's me gonna do what you not doing.
And that could be a form of manipulation.
It can be.
Exactly.
It doesn't. Manipulation is not always a bad thing, though.
That's true.
Who's more manipulative, men or women?
Women.
Yeah.
Definitely women. Definitely.
We so gender biased here.
Oh my God.
I'm asking the question now. So why? So let's try to understand this, right? Since we talk about effective communication, why do you? So I guess the only best way to ask is this. I'm gonna ask the women first, though, since y'all. Hold up, first before I do that, Zach, do you think men or women?
Oof.
You go get Zach in trouble, man.
Yeah.
Just leave him out.
We can't be effective if we don't.
I'll go ahead and answer. Ask me the question one more time.
Who you think is more manipulative, men or women?
Women. Most definitely.
Chef Joe, you said women.
Off the top.
Dre, you think men or women?
Women.
All right. So this is my question: women, why do y'all think the men are saying?
Why we didn't get the answer, Kevin?
Well, no. I'm going to ask it, but I want to so we can actually walk it down because I'm gonna do what I'm about to do. I'm gonna do the same thing in reverse because all the men are in agreement. They say women. So now I want to ask the question of women. Why do you think the men say women are more manipulative?
Lack of accountability.
What you think, Tori?
Bias.
Okay, bias and lack of accountability. So, Tori, Caprice, what do y'all think? Who do y'all think are more manipulative, men or women?
I think both can be equally manipulative. I'm not putting it on one gender.
So, if you had to stand on something,
I'm standing 10 toes down on they could equally both be manipulative.
So, if you had,
don't try to get me to
stand on something,
that's what I'm standing on.
But we know equality really doesn't exist, right? So to get a better understanding, I'm trying to guide you. What at 51? What's a 51? Because that's what majority would lie, right? And I'm not talking landslide numbers like 80-20 and 70-30. So if there was a 51, who would be the 51?
I feel like it's men.
Men? Mm-hmm. Caprice, if there was a 51,
I believe.
Or who would be 49 if you don't like 51?
Men and women are both equally manipulative.
But we know the equality, but equality doesn't even exist amongst the men, though. So that's why I'm asking about 51.
Who breaks up most homes, Kevin? Men or women?
Wait. Now that's you're going too far.
Whoa.
No, it's not.
You can go there, but you're going too far.
Who breaks up most homes?
I'm dealing with
men or
manipulative.
women?
Women lead to divorce.
Lie. Go on Google.
Wait. Before we do this, though, let me get the answer to my question because Tori about to take us down a rabbit hole.
Dre, cut your camera on, kick Dre.
So before we jump down the rabbit hole, I'm trying to get Caprice to stand on something. You know what I'm saying?
I'm doing.
If someone had to be a 51. Come on, Caprice. Somebody got to be a little more than the other now. Ain't no equal. 51. Who would it be?
I said what I said.
All right, so Caprice is saying men. I'm gonna say
no. That's not what I said. Why are you assuming stuff now?
I'm not assuming. I'm answering for you. Right?
No, that's not what I think. So you can't answer for me.
No, I see. So since you can't stand on it, I'm gonna effectively communicate that I'm going to then now be.
That's not effective at all.
No, I'm going to effectively be your spokesperson at this point. So now, since you can't stand on it, I'll stand on it for
I
you.
did stand on what I said.
No, you hovering right now. You ain't your feet
No,
ain't even
I
touching the
stand
ground.
on what I said. If I would have changed it and made it a 51 or a 49, then I wouldn't have been standing on what I said originally.
But you don't really believe that, though.
I do believe that.
I'm like a mind reader out here. You don't believe that. I think you personally believe that men are the 51, more manipulative.
That's not what I believe, actually.
All right, so now we'll play the dangerous game Tori wants to play. What was the question, Tori? Who do
break
what
up more homes?
Who breaks up the home?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who breaks up the home? Men or women? This is an age-old conversation, but fuck it. Dre, what you think? Who does this? Who breaks it up?
Like I said earlier, by the numbers, man, it say the women lead the divorce by what 80% or something like that. That's just what I seen. I'm not married.
You gotta stay off social media and stop regurgitating these facts that's not even facts.
No, it wasn't on social media. It was like on some article.
Well, y'all be reading it wrong.
Okay. Chef Joe, men or women, who does this?
Women.
Okay. Zach, who does this?
Women.
Women.
And why I say that is they will leave just because they're unhappy. I mean,
why are we unhappy, Zach? Why are we unhappy,
specifically?
Because y'all going through a rough patch.
That's why me and my wife are still married.
We in a marriage by ourselves that we're going through the rough patch. It's not we're going through a rough patch. We are going through the rough patch. We're supposed to be a team. How am I only the one going through the rough patch?
No, that's what I meant.
Exactly.
I said, yeah, you're going through a rough patch, in marriage. Like,
and then people act like unhappiness is not enough to get a divorce. Like, what am I actually unhappy about?
You're not gonna be happy all the time in your marriage, though. That's the thing.
Right.
Like, it
depends on right, but it depends on exactly what I'm not unhappy about.
Okay,
then
can you work through
communicate that?
Can you work through it?
Yeah, you could work through I mean, I can't say anything. You could work through a lot.
Exactly. The things you can work through, why not just work through it?
Y'all act like women just leave at the first sight. It's something that happens over time. Women don't just leave. It's a buildup. And then you think because you're not paying attention that when she finally leaves, it's like, well, you just left out of nowhere. Like, no, I've been telling you what I'm unhappy about. I gave you the cues. I gave you the nonverbal. I gave you the verbal. And now we're here.
Okay, how do you tell him? You say you're giving him the cues. What are the cues that you give him? Like, explain. How do you tell him
verbal
what's
and
going
the nonverbal?
Okay, do you sit him down and say, hey, babe, let's have a talk. I'm not feeling happy just because of this, that, and the third, or X, Y, and Z. Do you say that?
Yeah, that's the verbal.
Oh, okay.
So, Tori, Caprice, y'all believe that the men are the ones who break up the household first?
Per this article that came out October the 17th, right here. Family breakdown in America is relatively involved fathers. Kevin.
So, if I answer the question, I'm on the side with the women now. I don't believe the breakdown starts at the divorce. So
that's true.
I'm not on that issue, but I do think it's a okay. So if I have to put it in a spectrum, or we walk in timeline more so. Yeah, I can't really say that though, because nowadays most people ain't even really trying to go that far as the committedness. So it'll be I'll be out speaking in an outdated fashion to even say that it would be that if it started, it would start more with the woman being unhappy, because now you got women who got certain expectations that aren't even achievable for them, but they're still their expectations, which then would mean that they won't get to the happiness anyway. So it's like, How can you, if you can't even get to the happiness going
Minnesota.
into it, then how would that even work? I think it begin. I think it. I think it. This is difficult. I don't think women actually are as effective communicators. I think women don't have a problem saying what they want, but I don't think just because you directly saying what they want. Because I think women do say what they want more than men, as far as being within the relationship. I think men do care too much more about the women's feelings to a degree that they're not going to be honest, and that's why men do a lot of the avoidance. Right? They don't want to rub the woman the wrong way. They don't want to hurt her feelings. So that's why most men you just be quiet. They just wouldn't say nothing at all, and that doesn't help the relationship. Because now it's already a communication barrier, right? So in most instances, I'll do it experience based. In most instances, I have seen the breakdown. I said that the divorce would come, but it typically came because the man violated to a point where the woman just couldn't put up with it no more. Most of the situations weren't just predicated off her based like a small level of happiness. So that's why I say I'm on the side with the women on at least that particular part. So, Maddie B, I'm so glad that you returned. Tori posed a question. Well, the first question we were dealing with was who do we believe was more manipulative, men or women? The men all said the women, and Tori and Caprice both said men. Caprice tried to say is they're equal, so I went ahead and effectively answered for her, and she said men, so she said men.
You cannot effectively answer for me. Stop.
I did it without troubles. So Matt, who do you think is more manipulative between men or women?
You on mute?
You hold on. Oh, you on mute?
Yeah, Matt on mute.
Yeah, you on mute.
My fault. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I said I definitely say women are more manipulative than men.
And then Tori posed.
What he said?
He said he definitely thinks women are more manipulative. And Tori posed the question of who breaks up the household first. Who's typically the one to break up the household? The man or the woman?
Who breaks up the household first?
Yeah, who's typically the one to break up the household?
I would say, as far as leaving the relationship, I would definitely say women. As far as leaving the relationship, I would say women break up the household more. But I think dudes are more complacent. Like I think most women like change. Most women like growth. But guys are simple. Guys don't really like change like that. So I think in a lot of situations, women tend to grow and be different people, but a lot of guys like things the same. So I think that's how they start to grow apart. But I think the woman actually leaves the relationship quicker than the man does. The man will stay in that relationship even if he got other stuff going on the side, or even if he's not committed to progressing in life, he'll still stay in that relationship. So it's important how you look at it. But I think women leave the relationship, and that's what breaks the household up.
So actually filing for the divorce is breaking up the household, not the actions up until the woman decided to file. It's only broken when you file for the divorce.
No, that's what I mean. It's according to how we interpret it. That's why I broke it down like that. Yeah. If they're actually working, if they're actually trying to work through things, I would say it's kind of hard for me because it kind of depends. It kind of really depends. But I would definitely say women leave the actual relationship quicker. But the other part, it kind of depends because I think women are more likely to try to work through something than a man is if there's like a complacency issue. Just with that.
I kind of disagree with that.
Are you confusing filing for divorce as leaving the relationship quicker? Because I've never heard of women leaving relationships quick. If anything, I feel like women take too long to leave relationships that they know they shouldn't be in.
No, I mean typically everybody that gets into most people don't get into a relationship for the right reason. So everybody says it was too long. So it was quite what you mean, but too long, almost everybody that breaks up says they was in there too long because they shouldn't have been with this person in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So that you always gonna get someone saying it's too long.
But I think that's men and women though. Everybody stay in a relationship longer than they should. I don't
That's what I'm
think it's a
saying.
woman thing. Yeah.
But the
Everybody
men
stay
don't.
longer.
But the men. What I'm saying is the men don't actually think they're in relationships because they leave that gray area for women thinking they in relationships or we're talking, we're messing around or whatever we doing, and you take it as well. I didn't say we're in a relationship, so and this woman still holding on to this man. Like as far as like being in relationships, I think typically stay too long when they know it's a problem that need to be addressed is not being fixed.
But
They
Well,
staying
you're
too
going
long is different than leaving and breaking up a
so
household as well
so you
too.
kind of going away though from what the original question was though, Caprice, in a sense though, because when Tori asks who breaks up the relationship, that means
No,
we're dealing with an
I
established relationship.
definitely wasn't talking about that question. I asked Matt specifically because I said, is he confusing the women divorcing as far as leaving a relationship quick? Because he keeps saying women are quicker to leave relationships, and I'm like, are you confusing her filing for divorce as in her leaving quick?
No, but
Yeah, but then what does that question have to do with the context part though? Because I'm responding to the context part.
that's what I'm responding to.
I mean,
Because it's based
he
on leaving the household.
he
It's
gave
like
his
you're bringing
answer, and I
in
asked
just
him a
people
question.
leaving. It's based on breaking up a household. It's like you're breaking it down to just leaving a relationship in general.
Right, and I already spoke to that, and then I asked another question.
So you asked another question outside of the topic.
I asked a question based on what you said.
But what I said is only based on the context. If you're taking the context out and you're asking me a question, it has to be based
I
on
already
on the
addressed the
context of a home.
context. I
What
already
you say?
addressed the context. I already addressed the context.
No, I got that, but you're questioning what I said based on the context. But you're telling me you're not using the context, and you can't. My answer was only
I
based
didn't
on the
say that.
context.
I didn't say I wasn't using the context.
So what's the question?
I already answered his. I already responded to what he said. Women break up the homes because they file for divorce, and I said it's only the women. I said it's only consider she's breaking up the home by filing for divorce. It's not the actions that led up to her filing. We already addressed that. Then he said women are typically more quicker to relieve relationships, and I said, are you confusing her filing divorce with her with leaving a relationship quick? Because I don't think just because you filed for divorce that means you're leaving relationships quick.
Oh, okay. So she's
Okay, I got you.
nitpicking on the quick part. That's the part she's battling with. The
I
quick
got
part.
you. I understand when she broke it down like that just now. Nah, I'm saying quicker than the man. I'm not saying quick in general as what quick is. I'm saying quick. She's finding it quicker than the man would be leaving the relationship. I think men endure longer. So I'm not saying quick as far as the concept of what quickness is. I'm saying quicker than the man.
Right. But I think just because men be present, be like still coming home and stuff, don't necessarily mean that they're still there. Mentally, they are gone. So I
But is the
can't
house
really
broke? But even if they're
I
gone,
can't really say who's quicker and who's not, because just because you're still there doesn't mean that you're mentally there, you're emotionally there, you're committed to this. No, you might just be looking for a way out and trying to get her to be the one to make that step.
I think even in general, women leave relationships quicker. Cause I think women like change more than men do. So I think a woman can leave a relationship for way more minor reasons than a dude will leave a relationship. Like a woman can just be bored with the dude and want something different. I don't think men typically are leaving because of reasons like that.
Why leave when you could cheat?
Why cheat when you can leave?
I mean,
That's what we ask men all the time. Why cheat when you can leave? Exactly.
I say the same thing, but people be having kids and having family.
There you go.
A lot of people like that
Fuck them kids.
comfortability of a household as well too.
It's the baggage.
And because most people, it ain't like Josh. You don't live by yourself before, right, Josh?
I'm living by myself now. What do you mean?
Okay, perfect. Most people don't like living by themselves. It's a lot of adults who never even live by themselves. They have to have something going on at the house. So it's very few people that, especially out of state, move and get their own place. Now I'm not talking about you leave your mother house and then you got married or you met a baby daddy and you together. There's not a lot of people that like living alone with just them. So of course it's gonna be harder for them to want to break up a home and live by themselves. So they still keep that intact.
Okay.
I get what you say. Some people want somebody in their life period. Like they want a companion and all that. So that's why they stay. I don't think it's right. I agree with you. Like if I'm not happy, I'm not gonna stay. I'm leaving. But you got
Oh,
kids
so
and
you're leaving because you're unhappy.
Male.
I thought only women leave because they're unhappy.
I never said that. I never said that. Don't put me in that category. I was quiet during that conversation. Don't put me in that shit.
He walked into that one, Kevin.
I don't remember hearing nobody say unhappy. So I mean, he might have. I mean, hey, might have been your placement.
Never say that. I think if men or women aren't happy in a relationship, they should leave instead of stay for the wrong. Everybody like man, everybody stay for the kids or whatever. Man, look,
Still
love my
kids, right?
kids. We get goddamn joint custody, whatever. But if I'm not happy, then why would I make my life a living hell and yours if I'm not happy?
And the kids.
So I personally think the reason why it fails is because of exactly what we're talking about now. Anyway, is the communicational side. I think that people get to a place where they make up in their mind the relationship is always it's already over. That could be either the man or the woman, or it could be both at the same time, and they still inhabit the same space, even though maybe the woman might be like, "Ah, I'm already out. This relationship over," or the man could be like, "Ah, I'm already out. The relationship over." But because nobody is coming together to actually have the conversation, these people appear to be together, but they're really not together. They just inhabit in the same space, right? And I'm pretty sure we all have witnessed people in situations that we be like, yo, that relationship is not together. They not together. They just still live together, but they're not together.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that for whatever the reasons is, whether it's his or hers, that because they don't communicate. But I think that problem is there before they even actually fully get in a relationship. Me and Matt talk about this all the time, that most people don't even have these conversations going into the commitment side. Like they're not actually having the hard questions. They're not having the hard conversations and things like that about it. So they're getting into their situation from a facade situation anyway. So not only was they not talking in the beginning, it's not suspicious that they're not talking while they're in the relationship. So I think it's just the communication in
And I
general.
think, and if you look at how people date, because this is the issue I have. When I first started trying to date, I tried to date on where I'm headed in the future. But you quickly learn that most people don't date where they think they're going to be at in the future. Most people date where they currently are at that moment. So a lot of times when you're getting into the relationship, one person is typically elevating quicker than the other person. Especially like if a woman has a child, like how Tori said earlier, that woman's probably going to mature quicker than that man. But the standards that to get in that relationship weren't those same standards that she had for him. Now that she has a kid, that she's looking at, we're responsible for a life, and this happens a lot of times. So a lot of people don't have this conversation. They're only dealing with where they're at the moment. They're not dealing with who I want you to be in 10 years, who I want you to be in 15 years, how we going to grow, how our lives are going to be aligned to get to somewhere we want to get to in the future. They're just dealing with who that person is right then. And then one person either matures quicker than the other one, or they just change in general and they're still the same person. And we don't like to work together when we're not feeling the person at the time. We only want to work with somebody that we typically have those feelings and emotions with at the time.
Right. It's so true.
So let me ask the question, and I'm gonna do this because we modern people living in modern time, right? Are relationships as beneficial today as they were before, or are they overrated now? Because a lot of the younger people feel that they're overrated, men and women, right? So are the relationships just overrated now? Like, are they not as valuable as they were back then? What y'all think about it? I'll ask Zach first.
It depends on who you are as a person and what your values are. Because the way I was raised, my parents have been married for going on 30 years, over 30 years, and that's the kind of life that I wanted for myself growing up, and that's the life I still want. So, am I gonna work on my marriage and keep it together? Absolutely.
Okay. Chef Joe, are they as valuable today as they used to be, or is it overrated?
Uh, for me, I think it's overrated because
Now, are you looking at this question objectively, or are you being biased, Josh? Let me ask this question first.
I was looking at my point of view, but overall, I
Because I know
think
sometimes you take a dog approach to a lot of these questions. So I just want to make sure I'm getting genuineness from you. Okay.
no,
That's all.
no,
I just want to make sure we stay effective. That's all.
I'm being genuine. Like
If he's a dog, he's being genuine.
I think sometimes he's confused. Sometimes I be having to steer him back. You see how he took that long pause in the beginning before he answered? That was confusion. Tori, was that not confusion you saw? So I was trying to make sure he walked the right path. That's all. But go ahead, Josh. You can go ahead.
no. I'm being genuine. Like Zach said, his parents were married for 30 years, and that's the life he want. I never seen that, so for me, I think it's overrated because I personally never seen people in my family in a happy marriage.
Was your father a player, Josh?
Kevin, don't start.
Listen.
And just to be an objective here, so being that we came from the same families with the same father.
Wait, Tori, you can't say
that's
him.
not true
We have
because
to allow-
I'm married and I want the complete opposite. Because I didn't see it,
Tori,
that doesn't mean that I don't want it.
Tori, wait, it's not your turn. You have to let Josh walk it through. We'll let you give why your perspective is different. Hold on, we gotta let Josh walk it through. Hold on. So I'm asking the question about value. So you and Josh's values may not be on the same thing.
No, we're not, because she's in a happy marriage and I'm happy for her. But KJ, you my brother too, and we got cousins that would never been married a couple times and it never worked.
And we come from player fathers.
Yeah.
We come from a player father, yes.
So I mean, in my opinion, I think it's overrated because I never seen it work. I know I ain't supposed to look at everybody else thing, but if it's not working for them, what makes things work for me? But I'm a loner anyway, so that's just me.
All right, Tori. So give us the different perspective where your values lie. Is it overrated, or is it as valuable as it once was?
2024 today is definitely overrated. People don't value relationships anymore. Just seeing the things that I see, no, they don't value them. No, it's not valued, Kevin.
Okay, Dre, is it overrated?
Yeah, it's overrated, because of social media, and things of that nature. Like Tori just said, people don't value relationships or marriage anymore. So yeah, it's overrated.
Matty B, is it overrated?
I think it's severely underrated myself. Because I think the relationship is what the relationship is. I think the mentality of the people that don't change the fact what a relationship should be. I just think the people going into it have the wrong mentality. Because even if you look at relationship, there's a lot of people that think you can get way more done working with somebody that you're on the same page with individually. Even if a lot of the things that we say we have aspirations of doing, whether you want to learn another language, you want to travel a lot, all these things can be done more. Experience can be done more when you're actually working with someone. The thing is, the people mentality is is what underrates the relationship. But the relationship is what relationship is. You know, the people that have successful relationships, they tend to be way better off than people that's out here moving single. You know what I'm saying? Some of the most successful people in this country are in marriages. So I think it's just that we don't know how to do it because our environment, how we were raised, our ancestors, things that happened, especially in our community, things that have happened to us that got us to distrust and things we value over other things. It makes it harder for us in this society today because everything is so individual. It makes it harder for people to actually see the value in the relationship. But the relationship isn't overrated. It's the actual people value of the relationship should be.
Okay. Caprice, is it overrated?
I think it's overrated in the sense that people just want to be in relationships. And I think it's underrated because a lot of people are starting to understand themselves, are starting this self journey to where like you start to identify when people have problems that you just don't want to deal with. So you just don't do relationships. And then as far as like it being beneficial, as far as me being a black woman and having that typical experience of black women, I don't think black women ever benefited from relationships. Not collectively. I think it depends on the two people in that relationship as far as you reaping benefits from it. I don't think in general relationships, especially for black women, are beneficial.
That's a pretty bold statement. So as from an individualistic standpoint, you're saying it doesn't, or collectively it just doesn't?
Collectively.
So for an individual, on an individual basis, would it be beneficial for them?
It would be subjective. It would depend on the two people in that relationship.
So from your experience, have you seen it be more beneficial for people who actually tried it out, or have you seen more people fail? As far as, well, so we're gonna ask about beneficial for the woman. From your experience of even talking to women or what you've seen around women, have you seen more women say that it benefit them, or did you more women say they felt like they lost more being in the relationship?
It has not been beneficial for women, black women specifically.
Tori, what you think about that?
Repeat the question.
About how relationships aren't, from her perspective, relationships aren't actually beneficial for the women.
I said black women.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty.
I said collectively, though, not individually. Collectively.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, no. But that's what I'm saying. I was asking what her perspective on just hearing the statement in itself, though.
Right. In agreement with her on collectively, yes. And that's just because look at the statistics. That goes back to that article for one. Look at our children for two, communities for three. Working in the hospitals, I definitely see it every day.
So what would be a collective benefit?
Of remaining?
No, like going off the statement of saying like the relationships aren't beneficial for the black women. What would be the benefit? What would be the collective benefit?
The only thing I can see is goddamn child support. Shit.
What? Yo. That is crazy. First of all, how do you get child support from being in a relationship? There's no child support. Well, if you with the father of your child, we're talking about in the relationship. What would be the benefits? How would child support?
So, yeah, Josh stupid.
No.
Josh dumb. I think Josh misunderstood it. So so back to the question. What would be a collective benefit? Because y'all both agree that it's not a benefit.
The collective benefit would be more black women being married, not being single moms.
So what's the benefit though? You're saying that.
What's the benefit of the marriage though?
And then in the marriage, the benefit is y'all the growth level of both of y'all. You being able to actually take care of your household, your wife, your family, or whatever. Most black men cannot do that. And then secondly, another benefit is like when you even speaking to the whole emotionally intelligent part, like just having that an actual honest partner where y'all can effectively communicate with each other, how beautiful that can be and how that can translate to the children. Like those are the benefits that I'm thinking about. I think Black couples pass so much trauma down to their kids, and that's why I don't think
I can agree with that.
there's benefits.
But you
from
said never for Black women. All these things you describing at one point we had.
When?
If you go back before all this liberation stuff
Why
started
are
happening,
all Black people? Okay, I said we passed down trauma. Are the traumas not showing right now in 2024 of the Black couples? The trauma not showing right now?
You said never, and I think trauma isn't necessarily passed down either. A lot of
I said we never benefited.
On passed down.
I said we never benefited from relationships. What did Black women benefit from relationships?
If it was successful one time, then that was a time frame that
what do you call successful? What do you call success?
I'm talking about
getting married.
You just laid down about progressing and being married at a high rate. That's what you just said. I'm going both the parameters that you said, or why we're not successful. That happened at one point.
But I wasn't just talking about being married. I'm like in the marriage. What's the benefits of getting out of the marriage? Black women always had to work. So we didn't get to benefit from sitting at home. We are the most.
That didn't benefit nobody. No. Most people work. No matter what race it is, most people work. Especially in the West.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if you do not understand how much more benefits you could get if you could have your wife be a stay-at-home wife and take care of your children, then I don't think we can have this conversation because there's a lot of benefits that can happen.
Most women, if we go by most women don't want to stay home and work anyway, especially today.
But you was talking about back in the days, and I'm just trying to let you know that Black women always had to work, so we never experienced no stay-at-home mom thing.
I don't even think that concept is even worth exploring because that's a luxury in itself. For anybody to be able to sit home, it's always been very few women who can sit home with a man paying everything. It's very few women that has ever been able to do that. So it's not even realistic. That's not even realistic of today. So it's like that for that to even be part of the benefit is stupid because that's not even realistic for most people. I'm talking about that's a very small luxury. And if you're telling me that's a lie, you clearly don't study economics because economically tells you that's impossible for most people to do. That's a luxury. Even when you talk to most older women, they'll tell you that. They'll say that's a luxury to be able to sit home and not work. That's because Black women never had that. But that's what I'm saying. That's why it's looked at as a luxury. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. But even if the men were there, they still would have to work though. That's what I'm saying. It's not even that don't even go into the benefit category because even if you had a man who was all adored, he was there working, you still wouldn't be able to be home. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with you on that. Like people be having this warped reality of what back in the day was like, the women would stay at home moms. No, Black women always had to work. Even when there was no women rights, none of that. Black women always had to work and come home and give that check to her husband. So the benefit that you gave, the benefit is pretty much is what you can just pass down to the children. Because I don't even care about the kids. I want to know the benefit between just for the woman. What is her benefit? Yeah, that's why. So let's just say for the conversation purpose, fuck them kids. What is the benefit for the woman in the relationship? Right, and that's why I'm finding it hard to answer. So that's why I'm thinking there's no benefits right now for women, for Black women. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So you don't think there would be a benefit for the women at all, and to even be in a relationship? Not right now, no. Okay.
Another thing is too when you talk about a lot of people argue ideally because that's definitely an ideal conversation when you say about the not having the experience because there's a lot of women that say they want to be stay-at-home women and when they actually get in that situation they actually don't want to do that. They actually feel like they don't have no purpose in the relationship. They actually feel like they should have something that they can call their own and a lot of women actually want to contribute to the household. It just sounds good to people who see other women who do that, they think that's all that goes into it. But a lot of women, when they get that situation, they actually don't like that situation. They actually want to be contributing to the household. Which I agree with you on that. I'm just saying there's not even an option for Black women to do that. It's automatically you have to work.
There's no option collectively. I'm speaking. You have to work.
It's actually an option. It's actually an option for. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We hear you.
I would disagree because I think it's actually an option. People just don't like how we say care. People just don't like the package and scene. Which means that guy that you're gonna have to build that probably could put you in that situation probably ain't gonna be the coolest guy early on. Probably ain't gonna be the guy that got the most swag. Probably ain't gonna be the most attractive guy. The thing is, we want what we want, and then we want that person to be what we need. And that's what happens a lot of times.
But if Kevin just said,
realistically though, it's actually not an option though.
It's not an option because if we talking about economically, we're not talking about how he looking. Kevin just said economically.
Yeah,
it's not possible.
Most people can't do that. Most people can't. I'm talking about 80% people can't do that.
So it's not an
option. I get that. I get that, but when you specifically say black women, I'm looking at it as you comparing it to other races like Indians or white men. I'm saying we can do it at the same pace that any other race can do it, but we value other things over that. Now, no race is going to have majority, but I think ours can definitely be higher if people actually.
That's not true for white people neither.
You ain't heard
Chef
what I
Joe, watch this. Chef Joe, Zach, we got two white people.
You ain't heard what I said. You misinterpreting what I said.
Chef Joe,
what I said before you.
Purple charges.
I'm addressing it because even if you look at even if you try to do comparison, it's not even there even in comparison. As far as this country, it's the same way for white people. It's the same way for Indians. It's the same way for Mexicans. In this country, I'm not about to try to compare what niggas doing overseas now. I'm talking about the nationality basis doesn't even make a difference. It's actually the same. And we can look at the what's the name to actually see that.
Because I've seen studies where other races, their women work less than our women. I'm not saying the majority of them. I'm saying
the CDC tell you that shit ain't even possible. That's not what's going on. The CDC literally tells you that.
And he would be incorrect because I go in a lot of households too, and he would be.
He said he would be incorrect. You said the CDC.
Yeah, I was telling you he's incorrect.
Come on, man.
No, the CDC.
We arguing two different things.
Well, the only thing I'm saying is that for most people can't do that anyway. So even if you in the relationship, y'all got it. Most women can't sit at home. I don't care what you talk about. Most women can't do that. So it's a very.
But that ain't the point.
You said she didn't take it off.
I'm the one that initially said that. I just said that we can have more. Like, our percentage can be in line with what other people are doing. Say example, only.
Wait. Before you do that, is Caprice comparing other races? Because if you're making a point comparing, if ain't nobody trying to do a comparison, I don't understand the argument. Is Caprice trying to do a comparison?
She said, because she specifically said, especially black women, which means she said.
But just because she said black women don't mean she's comparing neither, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's just
just because she said black women don't mean she's running a comparison.
I disagree.
That's why I said you have to ask her when you give your breakdown. You might be arguing a point nobody made.
No, but I get that. But when she said she literally said black men have never had the luxury of what other people have had in this country, especially black women. She said we haven't been able to do that. So I'm saying that no one has had that luxury. But if we want to be on pace, at least to have the other races, then that can be done.
You already on? We on pace.
Everybody.
I think our percentage is way lower.
We on pace.
It's not no big gap in the percentages of women that has to work across races. It's not no big gap.
It is a big gap.
You can easily look at the CDC and actually look at it because it actually breaks it down by race and everything.
It's not a big gap. But I was saying, as far as
if 30% of white people are stay-at-home moms, and only 8% of black women are stay-at-home moms. I'm not saying that's the actual stat. Then that's a big difference, even though it's always going to be a majority of people that have to work. But that still is a big difference in alignment of the race. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but you can't say that because that's not the actual numbers. But you can't say that because that's not the actual numbers. And the numbers are just not that.
I get that, but I'm saying that would be a big percentage difference, though. I look it up while we on here.
Yeah,
I
but
may
if
not
you
find it, but I'll look it up while we on.
if we're
'Cause I've
running
seen it
the
before.
dynamics, of the actual ratio, it would then balance out, right? If you take the majority and you look at their numbers, and then you run the comparison to the minority aspects of it, we would be actually on pace. It would then look the same. That's what my point was. That even if we try to separate the groups, the ratio between the two is going to be the same.
Right, and
Between Mexican men and the Mexican woman, the white man and the white woman, the black man and the black woman, it's still the ratio is still going to be what it is. The number's going to be different because the number of people will be different, but the ratio would still be the same.
No, I'm talking about the ratio. I'm talking about the ratio.
That's what. But I'm addressing that. That's what I'm saying. The ratio, that means we're on pace because it would be the same.
Right, and also what you have to understand that there's more white people than black people. So if you're going off by
no,
how
I'm not going by the number.
That's why I said the ratio.
I'm going by the percentages.
That's why I said the ratio would be the same.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going by the ratio, and the ratio is completely different. It's different.
Right. We'll give you time to bring that up because I've already looked this over in the CDC, and I can tell you right now,
I'm looking at a couple of
things. So you must about. I don't know where you about to bring this from because I looked at the CDC because when we was having this conversation before, I even random numbers. Like, dude, that ratio is exactly the fucking same. It's actually not different.
But as far as like what I was saying about especially black women, like if you trying to talk about back in the day, black women especially never had that luxury of being a stay-at-home mom. At a point of time, white women did have that. White women and women of other races did have that luxury. So that's why I'm saying, like, as in back in the days and today, collectively, we never had that luxury of being a stay-at-home mom. So I mean, so it's not really comparing the races, like.
So forget all of that. The benefits, though, we don't believe that there's a benefit for women today to be in a relationship with the overall census, right? Because all that other stuff is not really as important as we're trying to make.
You
agree with that, right? You said that too, right? You was like, you don't really do
right.
Yeah. So fellas, what y'all think about that? Chef Joe, what you think about that? In today's time, is there a benefit for the women?
No.
Okay. Dre, is there a benefit for the women in today's time?
Nah.
Zach, is there a benefit for the women in today's time?
In general, don't be biased to like your situation. In general, what do you see is women benefiting from relationships?
I don't think it benefit nobody, to be honest.
No,
there's definitely a lot of benefits.
Go ahead, Zach.
I feel like there is benefit, but I see where you're coming from. Most stay-at-home moms nowadays are military. I mean, my wife works, my mom worked, my nanny worked. I mean, and she's 80 years old. The only benefit she had from, the relationship was her children and having another income, so.
Matt, would there be in today's time? Is there a benefit for the women today? Do you think there's a benefit for them being in a relationship?
Oh, absolutely. I think being single now is super detrimental to a lot of women. That's why a lot of women get themselves in a lot of these predicaments, and men, not just women. We just asked about women, but I think for both, it's beneficial for both to actually be in a loving relationship because you can actually build, you can actually avoid a lot of trauma and things. Like I said, though, it's all going to come down to what we value more. We value the look of the relationship or the things that we actually need. And I think more people value the look of the relationship, and that's why we're having these issues. Because I think everybody can actually find what they want. Now, nothing is 100% concrete, but if you really prioritize what do I want in this, what do I need in this relationship, and can I get this with this person?
Now we
you
going
can
into
find
the
somebody that y'all can build together. The thing is, you might not like the attraction level of that person. We may not feel like we have the communication chemistry with that person, but actually getting things done, yes. Like a lot of people don't value
Right,
those
so
things
you
over
so
actual.
you went very subjective. That's not collectively. If you saying like most people do this and most people do that, then actually there is no benefits if that's what most people are doing.
Yeah, but I think most people don't know what a relationship should be.
So you
The
said it's
relationship is
benefits.
supposed to be. It's supposed to be. You're supposed to be looking for somebody that's equally yoked. That's how I'm looking at relationship. The relationship isn't beneficial because people aren't looking for people that's equally yoked to them. People are looking for who they just vibe with better, or who they connect with better, and that person may not even be equally yoked with you.
You think you could connect with somebody and not be equally yoked?
Yes, because we
Okay,
don't own
wait,
different
oh, wait,
things.
wait, wait,
Everybody
wait,
don't
wait.
get.
Why
We don't
does
own these things.
equally yoked important?
Okay, wait. So before we even get to that, before we get to that question, but so we don't argue over definition. Let's get what is equally yoked. First of all, what does that mean?
Wait, because I wanted to ask a different question because he said women can benefit from relationships. So what are the benefits specifically for women today in relationships?
That's subjective to every woman. But if they get the relationship part right, that would actually be able to come through. Because you can find
So then
somebody. That's why I said no matter
you're
what
in
you want.
agreement then. So
She
then
wants you
you're
to
in
answer
agreement.
collectively too, though, not individual based too. Because a big part of their statement was the collective part, right? So she want to know collectively what would be the benefit for the women.
I mean, I can answer collectively, but it's easier to answer collectively of what a relationship actually is than what everybody
Not
wants out
what
of a
the
relationship. But
relationship is,
I would
what
say
the benefits are.
I answer. I would say collectively protection. I would say collectively women being protected. I would say collectively women being able to be guided in the right direction. I would say collectively having a family. I would say collectively being able to get more done financially.
So what if a woman had told you, Matt, she was like, well, I don't need to be in a relationship for protective. That's what 911 for.
Well, most of the time, people are calling 911 more often because they're not protected in the first place. Because a person that's truly protecting you
Oh,
is
so
going to keep
men
you out of a
don't
lot of
call
situations where you
911
have to
either?
call 911. So even when women say that,
Men don't call 911.
I'm gonna call them after I did what I
Men don't
did.
call
Yeah.
911.
they call 911, but a lot of men that calling a lot of men that are calling 911 is because it's that they
They
can't
don't know how to
control. A lot
fight.
of people that are looking for trouble aren't calling 911.
So let's iron this part out because I think this term this is a term I wouldn't want to I like to iron out, and I think it's good because we got men and women up here. Equally yoked. What is equally yoked? Tori, what is equally yoked? What does that mean?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's what
What does that mean?
To me, it's, but I can't say that because every day is not going to be 50-50. And my situation might not always be good. I may hit a rough patch. So does that mean because I'm not as equal to you now that we're not equally yoked? So yeah, man, I need you to elaborate on that one.
What is equally yoked? Caprice, what is
Oh,
equally
I
yoked?
answered first since I
Don't
brought
ask
it up.
me because I
Let me
don't
answer.
know what the fuck. All I know is egg yolks. I don't know what equally yolks
That
is.
motherfucker say all I know.
So,
Egg yolks.
Chef Joe, I'm gonna let Matt go last. I think Matt got an answer. So Chef Joe, what is equally yoked?
I'm stunned, bro. I don't know. I don't know.
Only reason I'm gonna let Matt go last because me and Matt actually had this conversation specifically, so I don't want him to go first. Dre, what is equally yoked?
to be honest, when I think of equally yoked, I think about what's in the Bible. You know, it says you should find someone that's equally yoked to Christ. So that's what comes to my mind when I hear equally yoked.
So equally yoked is what? Just more spiritual based. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying?
it's more from a religious standpoint. That's this from what I
So
know.
what about if you got a man and a woman who aren't religious?
Who aren't religious?
Or you got a man who religious and a woman not, or a woman who religious and a man not.
It all really just depends on their beliefs. At the end of the day, you know, if one believes in Christ and the other one is a Muslim, if that woman is a Christian, then you know, by the Bible, she's not equally yoked with that man. So they both should be equally yoked with Christ, and he's not equally yoked with Christ.
So does equally yoked exists outside of the theological realm?
Does it?
I know
Yeah.
you use the Bible, but I'm to ask, does it exist outside of that?
Yeah. It does.
So what would that look like then if it's not a religious thing? What would equally yoked look like then?
Equally yoked. Well, man and woman who share the same ideas, you know, have the same values, you know, same principle, you know, things of that nature.
Okay. Zach, what is equally yoked to you?
Dre got it. I mean, same values, the same understanding of this is the way that I see my future going, and this is the way that I want it to go. If you align with that, then I'd say we're equally yoked in the unspiritual sense. And, you know, even in the spiritual sense, my wife, she is Christian, but I'm agnostic atheist. And we get along just fine. She knows my boundaries and I know her boundaries. As long as we can stay with the value set of I love you and I love you as a person and your values are set in the right place, I can align with you and I can stay with you.
Okay. All right. So Matt, go ahead and take us on. I'm gonna just say right now, whatever Matt, I don't usually do this, but whatever Matt say, I'm gonna agree with. I don't usually do this now. I know that kind of rich, but whatever Matt say when he explained this, I'm gonna agree with him. Go ahead, Matt. What is equally yoked, Matt?
I agree with some of what Dre and Zach said, some of what they say, but overall, I would say based on what both people want out of life, are they life trajectory aligning with each other? Those two people. So if this person wants 3 kids, they want to be a person that travels a lot. They want to be a person that is always changing, learning things, getting new hobbies. They're a person that's outgoing. Or the person they picking looking to align with that. That don't mean that the person has to be exactly what they are, but is it compatible to where we want to get the same out of life? Now that could be a groundwork based on religion, but everybody doesn't move. It doesn't have to be based on religion. It could just be based on what those two people want out of life. And I don't think most people get with people and they have the same trajectory of where they want their life to go at that time and the values and morals. That can also boil down to how you want to raise a child. You know, how many kids you want, what school system you would like to be in, what do you want to be in 10 years. Like, I don't think people are aligned in those when I talk about being equally yoked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I got a question. So say if y'all do have the same vision, trajectory, all that, equally yoked in that, but how you go about it is differently. Like how you trying to get to that point is different from how the other person is trying to get to that point. Are you not equally yoked anymore? If we have the same vision and we on the same trajectory and all that, but we just go about it differently, are we not equally yoked?
Now, I would say they definitely are equally yoked. I would say they still equally yoked because most of the time, people going about it different is it what's breaking it up. A lot of times, people are just in total disagreement.
And most of the time, it is because you go about it differently that people are. Most of the time, it is because you go about things differently that it causes problems. It causes issues in a relationship.
It's true.
A lot of times, if you're going about it that different ways, causing that many issues, y'all aren't aligning something that's serious.
But we aligned in the vision. We aligned in the trajectory. So
there's not going to be. There's not. I'm not saying it never happens, but there's not going to be that much off where we can't even come to compromisation. Unless you just got two people, one person that's stubborn, and then you are not. If someone is that stubborn where we can't come to it, then they're not equally aligned.
I think that's a fair point, though, that Caprice made, though.
I'm not even
that's definitely a fair question.
I think most people's problems is the fact that they don't have the same approach. Because I think even in like with regular like friendships and everything, the biggest thing that tear us apart is when people don't want to go about it the way we want them to go about it. It ain't even about that we want the same thing. It's the way that we go about it that typically is the problem with most people. So I think what she said is actually I think what she said actually represents the majority of the issues in people. That if we can't agree with how we approach it, is why we're going to fail. I agree with that.
But a lot of times the approach is tied to the value system as well. A lot of times their values are on the line, even if they want the same outcome. Going about it will also play into the value aspect of it as well.
I can see that too. I can see that too.
I'm just trying to understand when are we equally yoked and when we're not equally yoked, and why does the whole equally yoked thing matter?
And equally yoked. And another thing is too, people think
I think
when you
it's
say
just a
something
filler
about
word. I think it's just a filler word. It sounds
cool.
good.
And a lot
We're
of
equally yoked. Okay, we're compatible. Like,
kind of. Are you saying
no,
Caprice
most
is kind
people
of
don't
like
know. Most people don't know
use
what
the term
equally yoked
soulmate?
is.
Like when people use a certain soulmate, or I found the one, it's filler words. It's making you feel like you're actually doing more than what you are. You're compatible to this person. Okay.
Make you feel like you're more special than what you is.
And everything don't have to be aligned for you to be compatible with this person. So when y'all keep saying equally yoked, I think people are trying to take stuff out of the Bible that has nothing to do with people that are not religious. Because this word equally yoked comes from the Bible.
Right.
To pick and choose what y'all want to take from the Bible. Like, let's stop doing that.
Yeah, that's why I
All
got
right,
it
so now
from
let's deal
the
with that
Bible.
question. Does equally yoked
I
matter
don't
then?
think people.
So Tori, does that even matter in your situation? Does it matter if y'all equally yoked or not? Does that matter?
No, because every day we're not going to be equally yoked.
Caprice,
Now,
does
every
that
So
matter?
that means on the days that we're not, that we have to get separated.
I'm asking. I'm trying to get the understanding. Caprice, does equally yoked matter?
If I don't know what this thing means, then why would I say it matters?
Okay. Chef Joe, does equally yoked matter?
No.
Dre, does equally yoked matter?
I'm gonna take the yoke part out of it, but yeah, you should. You know what I'm saying? Want to find someone that's equal to you.
I'm pretty sure the meaning
Yeah, you want to find
is more
someone
on the
that's
equal
equal.
side than the yoke side. He said I'm gonna take the yoke out.
I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking that in my mind too.
Like,
I was like, I think the yoke part matters more than the equal part, because I think the equal part, like, the equal part is just silly to me. Like, men aren't equal. So even when women say equal, like, men aren't equal, women aren't equal. So the equal part, it doesn't make sense to me. Because this is what I believe. I believe marriage is an exchange of strengths and weaknesses, right? I believe whatever he lacks at and wherever he falls short, she should help pick up and provide. And wherever she falls and lacks at, he should help pick up and provide. So as far as equality, I don't understand why would they have to be equal. You get what I'm saying? But I do think it is an effort building of a thing. You get what I'm saying? I think both people do have to apply themselves. Like they have to want to see the same, almost, I would say, ending. Even though I look at life as more of a journey, not a destination, I do believe they have to kind of want to be going at least the same direction, right? Like, I think when at a fork in the road, if they literally like, yo, should we veer to the left, veer to the right, and that's just where they break, then it's a problem. But I think at some point they should be able to contemplate like, all right, we're gonna go to the right. But I think the yoke part matters more than the equal too. So I guess Zach, what you think? Because I know you asked the question. Does it matter? Do you think it matters?
I don't think being equally yoked in the sense that the Bible puts it in matters. I think being on the same page with values, like I said earlier, being on the same page that way is more important than your beliefs or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, where do I see myself in 10 years or 20 years? Do I see myself still living paycheck to paycheck or, even in the same house? Are we gonna have more children or do you even want more children? If I say I want more children and she says she don't want more children, guess what? We're at a crossroads and we may have to compromise. But that don't mean we're unequally yoked in that sense. That means, well, one of us are gonna not necessarily have to. Either we stay in this marriage and we compromise on this circumstance, or we just split off and go our separate ways because I want more kids, and you know.
I agree with that. I think it's more predicated upon values than anything else, and I think the approach matters heavily too. I
Yep.
think that we have to definitely get aligned with the way we want to go about doing this too, because I think that's where most of the crossroads are with how we're going to do it. Like we might say, hey, we might want to reach this, we want to have this particular house or have this set amount of kids, but the way we do it matters too. So she might be saying, well, I want to have all 3 kids right now. He's like, no, we can have these 3 kids, but I don't want to do 3 kids right now. We gonna have this first child right here. We can do this, boom, 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 we'll go. You know what I'm saying? I think the approach do matter. I think the approach matters more than anything. Because, like I said, most people fall out on the approach, not necessarily the ending of it. So I think that's pretty strong.
Right. Even when it comes down to like getting married, like, okay, if the women want to get married in a year or something, and the man is like, I don't think I could do a year, then like that can be an issue. Like we both want to be married, but our timelines don't align.
Now I disagree when people have big arguments over
They're not
like
equally yoked.
getting married, because I don't see how you getting married changes the dynamics of what you're doing. Now I can understand having the kids, but the getting married part, I don't see how marriage offsets. So when I hear people be like, and you typically hear more guys do this, of saying this is not right for me, timing and stuff like that. But the getting married part changes what exactly?
I'm just saying, if we're speaking on what the people want in the relationship, if she wants to get married within a year and that's not on the same timeline as him, he say he want to marry her, yeah, he want to get married, but he don't want to do it in a year.
I'm gonna just say he lied.
That could be an issue.
I'm gonna say he lied.
You're not equal. Yes, that's what I'm about to say. You're not equally yoked. That's that.
I'm gonna say he don't even want. I'm gonna say he don't even want to marry, because I don't understand the timeline.
That's what I'm saying, because we don't. I agree.
I think that's more him kind of like how we said the gray area, like not being direct. I think the saying that he wouldn't want to get married in a year is kind of more of him dragging her along, where he actually don't want to be with her. But I don't see where getting married alters anything.
The only thing it alters
I'm just saying that's the infamous line that men use, like, oh,
now we on the same page. I agree. I
can't do the relationship thing, or I do want to be in a relationship with you, but I don't think I could do it right now.
But that's two different things, though. That's two different things, though. Being in a relationship and then actually being married is two different things. Because being in a relationship is him telling you.
Not for me. Being in a relationship is marriage for me. So I'm not doing the whole girlfriend and boyfriend thing.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I rock with that. I rock with that path. I get it. I understand it. But a lot of people would differentiate on that, though. So I agree with you. I rock with the sentiment. But I think a lot of people would say there's definitely a bigger difference between marrying somebody and then that what they call the dating phase with them being girlfriend and boyfriend. I think a lot of people would probably, me and you would definitely be on the smaller side if we had to argue this from a lot of people.
And if a woman give a timeline of a year that she has to be married, and it's a hard timeline, and that guy doesn't want to be married in that year, and she's willing to call it off, then their values wouldn't align, because obviously she prioritized marriage over anything. He's prioritizing the finances in a situation he wants.
How you know he prioritized
over the marriage?
You assuming how you know he prioritized finances? How you know he doing that? It could just be he not ready.
I gave an example. I didn't say it have to be finances. I gave an example. And obviously he doesn't prioritize marriage over anything, because they can just get married. If you really want to be married, you can just get married. You don't have to wait for all these other things. It's obviously something you prioritize it over it if that has to come behind something else that has to go through first.
Okay, so then you can't even, if that's what you're saying, then you can't use the excuse of finances either, because if you want to be married, then that shouldn't be an issue. Finances shouldn't be an issue.
That's my point. That's my point. That's the point I'm making.
So
they wouldn't be equally yoked then.
Most of the waiting for marriage stuff is, in my opinion, I may be a little biased because me and my wife, we got married quick. I feel like it's based off of the parents pushing their children. Wait on it. You may not be ready. You may not want this person. You have to fully make sure you know that this is the one, if you will. So, you know, I feel like it's pushed on people and they listen to it. And in my situation, my wife's dad, he wanted, when I asked him for her hand in marriage, because I did that, he asked me to wait a year. And me being me, I'm me. I said, no, I can't do that.
You said, wait. You said her dad asked you to wait a year?
Her dad asked me to wait a year. And my parents, they told me, they asked me to wait. And I'm like, well, this is my person, and I know it's my person. So I'm getting married. I'm married that Wednesday. It is what it is. I mean, and we're still together today through shit, a whole bunch of nonsense that we've gone through. We're still together because our values align.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all believe you
E-
can have multiple persons?
Multiple personalities?
Multiple persons. You know how people be like, "This is my person." Can you have multiple persons?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by multiple persons?
Yeah,
You mean
I don't
like
feel the
multiple
same.
wives or multiple husbands? Like,
No, you know how people be like, "This is my person." It's like the same thing as in the one. This is my
yeah,
person.
yeah.
It's a person
Right.
for me. Do you think you can have more than one person?
Oh,
I think so.
yeah.
yeah.
I think so.
Tori, you think you can have
But
Well,
more than
then
one person?
what would make you choose out of all the persons? What would make you choose that person?
You would know.
you'll definitely know.
You would
It'll
You'll
be
know.
definitely
it'll
know.
be it'll be predicated.
That was it right there.
It'll be predicated upon
Pass the
what's
tucker.
the driving force between both of y'all, you and the one that you choose, right? So the
That's right.
things you're going to use as comparison is going to
Oh yeah,
be
that's the other car.
the where you want to go, where you want to end up, like the the viewing of where we want to land. You know what I'm saying? The trajectory is what's going to be what make you choose the person then.
Mm.
How much more in sync y'all are? How
So,
much how
so we gotta
equally
be
yoked y'all actually are.
equally yoked. So
I'm
so
being honest. That's what it's gonna be. How equally yoked y'all are.
we gotta
What's
be
gonna make
yoked
you
up.
actually choose that person?
We gotta be yoked up, huh?
Y'all gonna have to be yoked up.
Not equal yolk. Cause you know when you put an egg yolk in a bowl, you gotta blend it. So we gotta blend together.
Yep.
Mm.
Not you egging it on like, yep, this is
Because if you just crack the eggs and you put them in the bowl, y'all still separate. Y'all just
exactly. We separated. We
Y'all gonna have to
separated.
blend.
I
Yeah,
can even
I
separate
understand.
I can
Yeah,
separate.
bro, I know you know this, but I know you done scrambled many eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
You could definitely separate the yolk from the egg white.
Yep.
Oh, some people remove the yolk altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
does it still taste
We
good?
going too deep with these eggs.
Fuck yeah.
It does taste a little different. So wait here. And now this would be the question, right? Because most people were saying it didn't matter. So I'm gonna be funny. We're gonna play on this egg thing. Does your eggs taste better with the yolk in it or just the egg white? Let's see now. Let's see how much we care about being yolked up now.
Are
All
we talking omelets or are we talking scramble?
right,
Right? Because it's different.
both.
Both.
All right, go no. Let Corey go first. Both. You
So
prefer
stupid.
the egg whites, or is it better with the yolk in there?
I'm gonna need both.
So you need that yolk in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Caprice. So you need that yolk in there, or you just want the egg whites?
Do I need it? It's different.
I'm asking what you want.
Do
Which
I
one you
need
prefer?
it?
No,
No.
what do you prefer? Which one you prefer?
Do
You
I need it? No. Do I want it sometimes? Yeah, I'm a sometime. Like I'm a sometimey.
don't
I'm
you do it.
sometimey. I like egg white sometimes, and then I like it all blended
I
up.
need you to stand on something.
I am. I'm sometimey.
So which one is the majority? Do you prefer the majority of the time to be yolked, or you prefer egg whites? Something got to be 51 now. Come on now.
Majority of the time, I eat egg whites.
Chef Joe.
Motherfucker, I don't eat eggs.
Chef Joe, before you chose this weird lifestyle,
vegan, Kevin.
when chickens matter, right? Before you chose to be weird and cut meat out, did you prefer the yolk?
If he just cut meat out, that's vegan.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Before he chose that weird lifestyle, did you prefer the yolk or the egg white?
Both.
If you had to stand on one and somebody had to be 51, which one it was? One weighs at least 1% more than the other. Now, I don't know why y'all doing this.
I was never a big fan of egg white, so the yolk.
We really not talking about eggs.
Dre, come on, man.
Yeah, I need that.
You know what? That you see. So before I make this comment, I want everybody else to answer. Then I'm gonna take a shot at them February birthday niggas. But I'm gonna wait before I do it. Dre.
No, not February birthday niggas.
That might be because y'all niggas got the exact same birthday. Y'all on that weird shit. Well, I don't know. Sometimes I like egg white. Sometimes I like yolk. That's just stupid. Dre, which one you prefer, Dre? You prefer having the yolk, Dre, or you prefer the egg whites?
Man, I had the yolk.
All right.
Yeah, I need the yolk.
You preferring the yolk, man, or you just want the egg whites?
The yolk.
Matty B, you prefer the egg whites, man, or you want the yolk?
As far as eating?
That's what I got confused about.
Yeah, as far as eating.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was pumping gas. That's why I ain't heard that. I prefer the egg white.
You prefer the egg.
Yeah, that's where all the protein at. The yellow is actually where the cholesterol is at. I prefer the egg white.
So I can appreciate what Matt said because he took a stand.
I took a stand too.
But them two right there.
February baby.
Niggas born on the same day. That's just weird. But my overall point.
Who was born on the same day?
Our overall point. You and Josh got the exact same.
Josh was born on the 12th. I don't know what you're talking about.
Motherfucker, I was born before you.
She know that. Tori, she know that. She was born on the 11th, the same as Josh was born on the 11th. She know that. She always do that. So, y'all, my overall point was this. Even when it came to eating, y'all know that y'all need to be yoked up. They equally.
No, well, how you choosing for us? No, I like egg whites, but sometimes when I want to spice it up, I'll leave a little bit of yolk in there.
Because effectively, when I communicate, whenever people can't make a 51%, I'm effectively just going to make the decision for them.
But I told you I prefer egg whites, but sometimes I like a little yolk in there. I don't put the whole thing, just a little bit.
So that's like saying too, sometimes you prefer toxicity and sometimes you don't.
I do. You're not gonna lie about that.
Okay. Josh, you the same way, right? Sometimes you prefer toxicity.
Healthy toxicity.
I don't know what the hell that is.
That's true.
First of all, there's nothing healthy about toxicity. Literally, if you look at the definition,
let me say this.
There's nothing healthy about it.
You can't be toxic pertaining to something that could be detrimental to our relationship. You could be toxic when it comes to like, no, I ain't.
This is the problem with words, though. Toxins are detrimental, period.
All right, but when it comes to relationships, then we saying like that means you don't want
together. That means you don't want the toxicity.
And
ain't no such thing as I just want a little bit of poison. Just tell the snake to bite me a little bit now. Don't do
just
too
a little bit because there's some benefits in that venom. Just a little bit.
Nigga, you ain't like,
I don't like toxic. I don't know why you got me in this, Kevin. I don't like toxic shit.
Josh, you like toxic.
Nigga, what you talking about?
What?
Josh, you was on that show that we had, and I asked the question about do we love toxicity?
And you said yeah. You said hell yeah. You said hell yeah.
Yes, you did. Dre was there.
I emotionally goddamn grow.
Yeah, people, you trying to tell vegan, now you forget about who you was.
Wait.
I think anybody would be lying if they don't say they prefer a little bit of toxicity.
No.
All right, guys.
Kevin, do you prefer a little bit of toxicity?
There's no such thing as a little bit to me. It's either we toxic or we not. Because see, saying a little bit is the gray area, right?
All right.
That's like saying she a little bit ugly.
People
No.
can be a little bit ugly.
No, you either ugly or you not. Ain't
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Josh, have you ever seen a little bit ugly woman?
No.
Dre, have you ever seen a little bit ugly woman?
I have not. She the
I
ugliest
have
thing.
seen a little bit
Zach.
ugly men.
Zach, have you ever seen a little bit ugly woman?
Yeah.
Maddie B, have you ever seen a little bit ugly woman?
Yeah, I've seen that.
You seen a woman who's a little bit ugly.
I ain't know. I think so.
Caprice, I got a question. So if your man came home and said, you found out your man was cheating, and he said, nah, but babe, I only fuck her a little bit. I ain't fucking like that. I'm just fucking
See, now you're going to the extreme. Now you're going to the extreme. We talking about a little bit ugly. We talking about a little bit young.
Though, but that's even extreme.
A little bit ugly is extreme?
Yes. So okay. So what are you calling a little? What is something that would be a little bit ugly?
It's like overall, I find you attractive, but it's this one thing that's on your face that's ugly.
But you just said overall. So for the most part, they're not a little. You see, you're trying to point out a feature being ugly. I'm talking about the overall. Is this person ugly or they not? See, you're trying to say, oh,
that's what I said.
That woman's beautiful, but her nose is slanted. That's a little bit ugly. No, nigga, you still think she's beautiful. That's not a little bit ugly.
You're a little bit ugly.
Come on, man, cut that out.
That is a flaw.
So let me ask you a question, Kevin. Are there women that look good most of the time, like whether they get out of shower, whether no matter what they got on, and are there certain women that don't look good all the time and they have to wear a certain thing, or they may have to put makeup on, or they may have to present themselves in a certain way to actually be attractive all the time? I would think that
I ain't talking about attractiveness. We talking ugly. Because that woman can have she can have a nice body and be attractive, but she's ugly. I said ugly. There's no little ugly.
So the girl with
even that.
Because I'm just talking about her face. She's ugly. Ain't no little bit ugly. She's ugly.
I've seen plenty of little ugly niggas. So
no, that motherfucker ugly. Cut that out. That's crazy. No, she ugly. I've never heard this in my life of being a little bit ugly.
I've seen plenty of little ugly men. Like if he would,
you think they ugly or they not?
No, it'd be like if he would have just that, yeah.
Now I can understand what you're saying if we're trying to deviate ugly into things like personality and stuff like that. But I'm talking about direct.
No, I'm not talking about personality.
You know what I'm saying? I can understand when people do that, but I'm talking about the pureness of are they ugly or not?
No, I ain't even talking about personality. I'm talking about features, like.
Because even if you put makeup on, you still ugly. Your makeup look nice, but you ugly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not a little bit cute with makeup. You an ugly girl with nice makeup.
Right, I can agree with that. Yeah.
So that's my point. That's no.
No, just for that example, I agree with you. But you are not gonna make me fold on that. I have seen a little ugly men.
I understand what you're saying. You're trying to point out little traits. You're saying that their person look good. They just got a trait that you dislike, so you're calling the trait ugly. It's not necessarily he's a little bit ugly. You're trying to nitpick on a particular trait. Might be his nose, maybe his ear, or something like that. But overall, you still think that person is good looking. That's my point. So they're not a little.
You a cute person, but you got them black nails, so I can't.
That's my point. So even with what I'm saying, because I know. You know niggas is ugly. Either they ugly or they not. I get what you're nitpicking.
Or like or I've seen guys who have like they mug is messed up, but they teeth is nice. So like you're a little cute.
But that's what I'm saying. You're talking about.
If you could be a little cute, you could be a little ugly.
But I think when I'm not saying it's right or wrong or it's correct or incorrect, but I think what Caprice is saying, I've heard women say that before. You know what I'm saying? Like they'd be like kind of how she explained, they may be ugly when they smile, so they like according to how I see them, because they may have jacked up teeth, and they may be good looking.
My God. Don't be ugly when you smile.
What you say?
Please don't be ugly when you smile. That's the worst.
That's what I'm saying. So I've heard women say that.
God.
Like, man,
crying makes me so uncomfortable because I have never seen somebody with a cute crying face. Like I'd rather you cry with like no expression on your face, just like the tears dropping. But like them faces, it makes me very uncomfortable. I don't know what to do in that position.
But like I said, though,
I figure that's what you're talking about, because I've heard women say that.
Yeah,
that's ugly at times.
So that's what I was saying too. That I get what you're saying, but overall, there's a sense of that person is still actually pretty, not ugly though. So I get what she's keep trying. I get the implement of a little bit.
Yeah.
So she's pretty as long as you never smile, you're pretty. You only ugly once you smile, or you only ugly if you cry. Like as long as you don't cry, you pretty. But the moment you start crying, it's like, oh, you ugly. Like, come on.
Or I've heard my sister say one time before that this guy, when he dressed up, boy, he looked good as hell. But when he wear regular clothes, he's actually an ugly guy.
You know, so I'm just judging his face though. See, that's my point that we're going into, because even Caprice went to the nails and all. I was like, I'm talking about just because when we're talking about the directness of beauty, I'm just talking about just face.
But you don't think with some people, how a person is groomed also helps bring out their face?
I understand that, but I'm trying to get us away from trying to associate so many things and just look at the directness of it. I get all of that. I'm not agreeing with none of that, but I'm trying to get us to be more precise. See, I get all the implications that y'all are saying. I'm not fighting those, but I'm talking about being precise. Is that person ugly or not? Not all the associative things that
you're like he got it. Like
so it's ugly or pretty. Let me ask you a question: is ugly or pretty only based on face, like a regular face? Is that
that's what I'm
ugly or pretty based on
direct beauty? I'm judging direct beauty off your face. Is they ugly or pretty?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just directly off that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like the man could be cute, but his eyes crossed, so he a little ugly.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on Caprice. I'm riding with Caprice.
What do you mean? Like his mug is still cute, but his eyes is crossed, so he a little ugly.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Oh, he got a lazy
eye. I understand what she's saying.
Oh, he got a lazy eye. He a little ugly.
All right, man. Listen, y'all. Hey, listen. That was okay. That was all right. That was pretty good, man.
You're welcome.
That was pretty good. Y'all got anybody got anything they want to address, man?
Go test study. I just text you and bring that up, and I break that down what that means. Let's see if I can.
What is Pew?
Pew?
I sent you the other thing that kind of breaks down what that is.
Pew.
It's an org, a nonprofit based out of Washington, D.C. that do a lot of research based on demographics of populations and stuff like that. That's just the only one I can find quickly. I can do deeper research and come back the next episode or something, but that's the one I found off the rip.
Based on what?
When we was talking about the stay-at-home mothers and stuff like that, I sent him a little link to our research.
So, what you said is a group of people who are running their comparisons, doing their studies, and going into it. Like I said, I referenced directly what the CDC was, which is actually accurately telling you what these denominations and things like that people are actually making. I don't know the basics of what they're utilizing. Hold on.
Because those I haven't seen the CDC, but every study I've heard of.
But wait. Also, what you just sent me said it literally says % of mothers with children younger than 18. Did you not see that?
Yeah, I was gonna break down what that said. I wasn't gonna leave that out.
Yeah, but we're talking overall though, because ain't none of us up here younger than 18. So why are you giving me a demographic of people under 18? Under 18?
Well, when most people talk about stay-at-home mothers, they're not talking about people that's growing up either.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The conversation we had earlier about Caprice about most of women on the line.
Most people, when they're having conversations about stay-at-home mothers, they not talking about motherfuckers who are adults. Because under 18 means you're not an adult. Are you serious? So most people, they talking about stay-at-home, they're not talking about adults.
No, I'm saying that says for kids at home, kids under 18, the kids they have. They're not talking about grown kids. They're talking about kids under 18. It's not saying the adult is under 18. It's saying the kids is under 18.
Nigga. So you have to send me an actual link because the screenshot you sent me is not capturing anything.
All right, the one I said,
you're not even actually on the site neither. You sent me a screenshot of a overview on Google too. So I can't argue this thing.
No, I was on the site.
In the site. Like you ain't even sending me from in the site.
Because the one I was looking at is based on mothers ages 18 to 69 with the children younger than 18.
I know, but you're not even in the site neither though. That's my point.
I got you.
You're not even in the site. You sent me a screenshot like when it come up on Google. You didn't even go into the damn site.
Mm-hmm.
Because that shit still got the visit sign. I mean, you got to click the visit, nigga, to go in the site. But we can make that a show. We can come back and revisit that because we already at 3 hours, and I know it's already about 11. I ain't want to hold.
No, I wasn't. I was just gonna go. I was just gonna say something about it right quick.
Go ahead. Do your thing before we jump off.
All right. I was just gonna say based off of that study because that's more in line with what I've seen. I'm not sure. I didn't see the CDC one. I'm not sure if that's what I've seen, but I've seen studies over the years from different organizations, and it's similar to that one, which is if you go by the races of people that's able to be stay at home married with the working husband, it's 30% Asian, which is the highest, 27% Hispanic, 19% white, and 8% black are able to stay at home because of a husband. Based on that one, on that site. And that's more in line of what I've seen, that we, even though majority of people do have to work, we still are at the lowest.
But this is why I told you, this is why I said brought the thing up about going onto the site, because even if you bring up the CDC, it has a thorough breakdown. Like it actually breaks it down a lot more thoroughly. Because I don't know what's all inclusive to what you just sent me, and then what's not being included. Because the CDC gives you a thorough breakdown of what actually the makeup is, what it looks like with this in the house, with this out the house, with this here, the age groups, business. It gives you a way more thorough breakdown of what it actually looks economically right now, what we're facing. See, this don't give, because you, like I said, you didn't even go in the site with what you sent me, so I don't know what's inclusive. I don't know what's fully here to that. So if I just use what you sent, I would say, well, you're correct off of just what you sent, but we would have to actually look at it, though. That's my point.
I got you.
So I can't debunk it because, I mean, technically, we're not even looking at it. Like I said, this ain't even on the actual site. All right, man. Anybody want to run their plug, man? Let the people know what they got going on, where they can find you before we get up out of here.
Not run their plug.
Yeah, man.
You know we do this every show. You can find me at Chef Joe with the Pots too on Instagram, TikTok. Yo.
All right, Zach, man. Let the people know, man.
Just on Facebook, Zachary Crawford, and I do have an Instagram, not active, but it's Zach8855.
All right, Dre, man. Let the people know, man.
Yeah, y'all can add me on Facebook at Dre Ocho, and you can add me on Instagram at D_Notorious Dre.
Okay. Let it be, man. Let the people know, man.
Facebook, Matthew Washington.
Caprice?
I don't have social media.
Mm.
Wait, what is that about? What is that about? And Josh, why is your mouth like that? Like, I feel like there's a lot of non-verbal stuff going on that you're not communicating right now.
Sound like he's expressing that you lying or something.
That's crazy.
All right, man. That was pretty good, man. I definitely appreciate everybody for jumping out, man. Like I said, for the 50th show, we've been doing this for 2 years, man. This is pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
But hey, until next time, we are out.
Peace.
Peace.